Real Talk Tuesday. We try to come at you every Tuesday and Friday and just give you a little bit extra. Tom Arnone, Ralph Delvecchio, Ryan Brodo, Jake Friel, Mr. Keep Your Ass at Home on the bottom. Probably the best name on the board right now, hands down. So people, if you aren't paying attention, listen to everything Mr. Keep Your Ass at Home has to say, because it's going to be factual, because that right there is factual. We got a lot to talk to you about. Even though there's not much going on, we're still going to bring you something daily. We'll go Tiger King later on in the show because it's fun, and if you watch it, it's a train wreck, and as Americans, we love train wrecks. So great show in terms of that, and I didn't know you can own a Tiger for $2,000. That's actually phenomenal. It makes me want 100 cups just flying around the house. Baseball returning in June. You know, there's speculation. Jim Jackson talked about it last night on the Sports Hounds about possibly maybe a 100-game schedule, 81-game schedule. What a great thing about that, if you're a Phillies fan, you don't have to worry about a collapse down the stretch like in previous years. Now, I think it's a different ball club, obviously different manager, and a team that was going in a way better direction than under Gabe Kapler. We don't get a chance to see that right now. It's probably extremely depressing. So we'll talk about the possibilities of that return in June. NFL draft discussion, something we're going to do on a lot of shows here and speculate, create conversation, and try to have sports in our life. So we'll get an NFL draft discussion, and it ties into our poll and our main topic, and that's the Eagles trading for Yannick. All right, and every show is brought to you by our doc. Got to make him yours at Dr. Paul Vidal, just like us, doing everything remotely now. Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Eagles should trade the 21st pick of this year's draft for Yannick. Do you agree or disagree? And if you disagree, we really want to know why you disagree. And a lot of people, I know the narrative is going to be, well, you need that wide receiver. Well, I've been yelling about it. I know the other guys have been yelling about it. A quarterback's best friend is a great defense too. So, you know, I can never have too many pass rushers. I can never have too many guys who can flat out go after the quarterback and get to the quarterback. And that makes my whole defense better. And if we learned anything from 2017, what we learned is where you win, fam. Well, the Niners just showed you a little bit last year, even though they didn't win it all. If you can go get somebody and you can knock a guy around early, right, it makes everything easier. All right, I'm not going 1990 football where you just win defensively, but I got a franchise quarterback. I got a damn good explosive running back. I got 2 good tight ends. Hopefully I'll have a Deshaun Jackson. Okay, yes, do I have to address wide receiver in this draft? Yes, but good GMs can address it down the line. They can address it in the second round. They can address it in the third round. Good GMs can hit. So guess what? It's on you, Howie Roseman. But what you do well is you make great trades. Okay, and you hold all the leverage over the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. So go do the deal, and let's continue to dominate up front, old school Eagles defense, and let's beat up on everybody that wants to come to the link, fans or not. That's how I go about it. So, boys, I want your opinions. Family, chime in at home. Anywhere you get your podcast, we're available as well. Okay? Anywhere. That's everywhere. I'm not even going to read them off because it's literally anywhere you get them. Okay? Eagles should trade the 21st pick for Yannick. Do you agree or disagree? You know my feelings. I just laid it out there. I completely agree. Boys, agree or disagree? Family, chime in.
I guess I'll go first. Really, are we talking just the first pick, like just our first round pick individually?
I think so,
or
you hold the leverage. So
but I'll do that. I'll do that in an instant. Then I'm not even thinking twice about it. Now, again, when you make that trade, you're going to have to give them a contract right there. So it's probably going to be $20 million a year, whatever it may be. But again, I've said it the past couple of weeks. Tommy, we've talked about it. Ryan, we've talked about it. Ralph, we've talked about it. You're getting a young, now 25-year-old elite defensive end that you're going to have for not even the next 4 years. You're going to have him potentially for the next 8 or 9 years. 37.5 sacks, and I think he's only been in the league 4 years. Just with him tailored together with Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and the rest of the guys, Hargraves, Malik Jackson, it just makes for just a deadly, deadly defensive line that's just going to get to the quarterback most likely every single play. So with me, I definitely agree to the poll. I'm doing that trade all day if it's just for the 21st pick.
See, for me, it's tough because you guys know as much as I do how much I love Yannick Ngakoue. And Tom, I know you brought it up a few moments ago, the narrative, the storyline, the common response going around the city of Philadelphia when you talk about possibly trading a first or a ton of assets for Yannick, and that is, oh, but we need a receiver. And my first response before I even heard you say that was, oh, but we need a receiver. And because at the end of the day, listen, I would love to have Yannick Ngakoue here because we've talked about it before. There would be a scenario to where we could say the Eagles are, a top 3 defense. By the way, I think we're echoing somewhere. I can hear me.
Phone's on.
Say that again, Tom?
No, somebody's phone was on probably.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I would love that because I think that would make us, not if it's not the best D-line in football, definitely one of the best D-lines in football. And that's very important, especially when you look at, how the Eagles kind of factor in their line play and how that's obviously most important. And that's how you win in this league. It's the combined versions of offense and defensive line, getting to the quarterback and obviously protecting the quarterback. So it'd be very important and be awesome to get him. My concern, though, is if you don't go, obviously, and I'm not even just talking about trading up in the first for, let's say a Judy, a Lamb, or a Ruggs. If you don't go receiver in the first, which I think we can all agree on, is something that if we do have a first-round pick, we need to go receiver in the first round. My question would be, okay, well, then what do we do then? I would be more comfortable if Howie didn't kind of sit back and just let this entire free agency class, play out when it comes down to the wide receivers. If we would have made a move here or move there. And I do agree, Tom, like we've talked about before, to where if we would have made moves in free agency, it would have been more Band-Aid-ish moves, but it still would have filled kind of roles. We talked about, obviously, last week, the chances of Alshon coming back into where it seems like more and more likely. So if you traded our first-round pick for Yannick, that obviously means Alshon needs to be here because there goes one of the potential replacements for Alshon out the window to where Alshon needs to be here. And the value and I would think the importance of Alshon is kind of increased instead of divided like we thought. Would I be fine with the Eagles trading for Yannick, using their first round and then taking, for example, like a KJ Hamler in the second or third? Sure, I absolutely would, because it does one of two things. It gets speed, obviously receivers later in the draft, and then obviously you get your guy on the defensive end. My only concern is we've talked for so long about the chance and maybe the need to trade up for one of these 3 guys or just taking Jefferson if possible at 21. While I think D-end and D-line is very important, getting Carson, his guy, I think is a little bit more important. So I would say I would disagree with the poll.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say to anybody that feels like you're going to get one of them top 3, you don't know Howie Roseman. And then you don't know how Howie Roseman goes about his drafts. Because Howie Roseman is not a guy who goes up for need. He's not a guy who goes up for wide receivers. It's not his damn MO. So at the end of the day, he's not going to change his stripes. That's how I look at it. And his stripes are always winning up front. And listen, good GMs find guys later. But what this all tells everybody is them 4 receivers on this roster right now, them 4 guys, he expects them 4 guys to contribute in 2020. That's what that's telling me. Now, that could be GM speak, but that's what it's telling me. He's thinking that he's going to roll out Alshon, Deshaun. We're going to say JJ because he used a second-round damn pick on him, right? And then he's going to use, and then Greg Ward. And he's got 2 good tight ends. So everybody's like, who's Carson throwing the ball to? The same guy he's been throwing the ball to. That's Zach Ertz, the best tight end in football, all right? A rising star in Dallas Goedert. So I'm so tired of hearing, like, these are guys he's growing with too. Do I want Judy? Yes. But I know he's not going to go up and get him. So instead of thinking he's going to go up and get him, what's more realistic of a Howie Roseman type situation? Well, that's defensive line. That's offensive line moves. He loves it. And when a guy has put everything on the table that he ain't going to play for an organization, now everything shifts to you. You hold the cards. Mm-hmm. So you can give up less. Listen, you do not. And I know somebody was saying, well, that when he had his big year, Jacksonville's defensive line at 6 Pro Bowlers or whatever you're saying, or defense at 6 Pro Bowlers. That's great. This defense line's loaded with Pro Bowlers too. Mm-hmm. So, and it's going to be for a minute. So, listen, who's he going to throw the ball to? The same guy he's been throwing the ball to. But at the end of the day, when I can get off the field on 3rd downs, when I can create turnovers because of pressure, when I can put quarterbacks on their ass, that's what wins in this league. The star wide receiver is all great. We all want one. but that doesn't equal you going to a Super Bowl and winning one either. Okay, it doesn't. The success of that isn't realistic. Teams that usually have ones don't really win many Super Bowls, right? Look, I mean, mainly because Brady's won so many, but that's really factual over the history of the NFL outside of like Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? And Jerry wasn't a diva wide receiver. So at the end of the day, yes. Do I need somebody to grow with Carson? Yeah. Nail a pick later in the draft like other damn teams do. Sorry. I just so frustrating that. Look, I mean, everybody chiming in. No, you need the receiver. It's driving me crazy. I know we need a receiver. But also, Pro Bowl DNs aren't available all day, every day under the age of 25 that are available when now I walk out of 2020's draft and I say, I just nailed my first round pick. There's no questions. There's no debate and there's no wondering. I walked out of 2020 nailing my first. Go ahead, boy. Sorry.
So for me, it's not that I don't want Yannick on the team, which I do. I'm just not ready to give up 21 for him, and I'll tell you why. I don't think you need to give up 21. People forget about where this team wants to be. So I'd rather offer them our second this year and our first next year, being that they pick 20 or they either pick right before us where we currently sit. And I already know they have number 9 pick overall as well. So this pick at 20 that they have is from the Rams, from the Jalen Ramsey trade. So once again, I'm not saying I don't want Yannick, and all the benefits has already been discussed of him being on this team. I just don't think that you need to give up 21 to be able to get him, especially if you plan if we get a Yannick and we can keep that 21st pick and then give up our 2, that allows us to maybe, like we said, the top 3 isn't on the board. One of the big guys isn't on the board. That's where you are maybe able to trade back in the first round and pick up maybe not a second again, but maybe you could pick up another third that you gave up for Slay. You know what I mean? So maybe you could trade back to like 26 or 27. Somebody can go up and get a Justin Jefferson or something like that. You may still be able to get maybe a Denzel Mims may still be on the board, or maybe a Jalen Reagor may still be on the board. And now, you don't have a day 2 pick in round 2, but then you have a day 2 pick in round 3. And that way you can still be able to get Yannick on this team. And we have to figure out the money, but Howie is really good at that. I'm not so much more of a fan of how we've been able to find and evaluate wide receiver talent later in the draft if we do give up 21, because even in the second round pick, even that this draft is so deep at wide receiver, when it is, we've seen when positions are deep, especially at running back, we all go back to who do we fucking take? We took Donnell Pumphrey out of all that loaded running back class. So we hear this loaded wide receiver class. Doesn't necessarily mean that Howie's been able to hit the nail on the head with that one. But if we get a Yannick and we are able to give up that first round pick, I don't want to hear the fans talking about, no, you can't give up next year's one. If we get somebody like a Yannick, that means we have aspirations to go ahead and be a Super Bowl contender. So guess what? I'd rather you picking at 32 and not picking at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you go out and you get it and you acquire a guy like him. I think you're hands down a Super Bowl contender and a team with a legitimate chance of at least going to an NFC title game. That's what we talked about it before, Pete. I know Rye, Jake, Ralphie, we all talked about it, that this team isn't in rebuild mode.
Right.
You got a Pro Bowl offensive line. You got a Pro Bowl defensive line. You're built up front. You got a franchise quarterback. That's not rebuild mode. You want to retool? You want to get younger in spots? That's a different story. But rebuild should never be the conversation when you talk about the 2020 Philadelphia Eagles. It's win now mode. Okay. We learned in the Donovan years, the windows open only a certain amount of time. So as much as I want Judy, I don't think it's realistic they go up and get him. So what's realistic? Go get Yannick and give us an opportunity to beat the shit out of people up front all year. Because that's what I want to do. I want to beat you up. I can't stress it enough. I want to beat you up. I don't care what looks flashy. I don't care. What looks flashy to me is the W's you get in the win column after games. That's what's flashy to me. Ralphie, Jake?
I disagree to the poll. Trading the 21st pick would be the stupidest move that Howie Roseman can do. And the fact that you only have 8 picks remaining, I don't see Howie trading at all for Yannick. I think, and I can see him trade for Yannick, but it's not going to be that big a package. And yet again, the Jaguars don't have any leverage here, man. So you have the 21st pick is probably not even going to be in the discussion if I'm Howie Roseman. But I don't see Howie making any moves for a top-notch guy like Yannick. I totally disagree to the poll. Totally disagree.
You just got soft out of somewhere quickly because you've been the guy in the team group bitching, moaning about picks. You got to go up and get your guy, right? Let me rewind for people. So you've been on that game. So over 24 hours, not a lot of sleep, from what we learned. You just shifted. You just said, I'm now scared money don't make money, and you just got scared on us. That's what just happened. You just shifted on me. You're better than that. Don't you shift on me.
I just don't see Howie making a move.
That's a different story.
All those picks, I mean, the 2 picks they gave up for Slay, I mean, he's only got 8 picks left. I mean, are you still willing to give up a first and a second round this year to go get Yannick, and now you're only drafting in the 3rd round, which would slop at the wide receiver now? I mean, you gotta give your franchise quarterback some toys to play with, Tommy. You have to, brother.
Who's been yelling about that more than anybody? Me. I understand that, but there's no toys here.
Yeah, Ralphie, I think
Alshon's not going to play until week 13.
No, where do you get that from?
I'm talking about the best damn tight end in football. I'm talking about an up-and-coming running back. I'm talking about
you still need wide receivers, though, Tommy.
Who's your best friend?
As much as you can until he gets triple coverage.
So giving up 21,
are you getting
a receiver? That's what everybody's telling me.
Are you still going to rely on Deshaun Jackson to have a healthy year?
You're relying on it. I'm telling you, just giving up 21.
No, I'm asking you.
I'm telling you.
Are you relying on Deshaun Jackson to have a healthy year?
Hell no. But what I need to rely on.
You're down 2 wide receivers already.
You assuming down 2. I'm telling you.
Okay, so now you're going to JJ, I can't catch a ball, Whiteside, and then Greg Ward, I've been on a practice squad for my whole entire career.
So hold on. This is what everybody's missing.
You need a wide receiver.
You just made my point. This is what everybody's missing. God. Everybody's missing that this guy's going to hit on a damn wide receiver. The guy you just said was a 2nd-round pick last year that looks like a swing and miss right now.
And
now we don't know. We don't. Okay, but now you're going to trust that guy nailing the pick. I'm going the opposite way. I'm saying I know a guy can goddamn fucking play in this league, and that's Yannick. I know what he can do. So I'm going to go get better because I know I can nail that one instead of saying, oh, well, I'll sit at 21 and hope a wide receiver falls to me. And if not,
what's going to happen? A wide receiver is going to fall to you.
Who? Then you're out of the top 3. There's no shot you're getting one of them top 3 at 21. 0 shot. Because I'll tell you right now, Jerry Jeudy ain't getting that past 6 now. I'm sold on that. There ain't no shot he's getting past 6 because wide receivers don't come up like this. Hence why they won't go up and get him. So I got to go to plan B.
If we trade for Yannick, then don't sit here months from now bitching and complaining we have no wide receivers to throw. That Carson has nobody.
I won't need to.
Okay.
Because my defense is going to get off the field all day. Which, listen, it's just like a pitcher. The more throws you make, the more you're getting a little bit of rhythm. So he's going to be on the field a lot more. This is how this game works. And I don't want to hear Ted says, well, the Niners have a great defense. What happened? They lost to an elite offense. Well, with all due respect, the Niners offense isn't as good as our offense because they don't have the quarterback at that level. Okay? You guys can Jimmy all you want. He's not Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz is on the field. Not even freaking close. Okay? So I'm going to take my chances. Right? When we did have a good defense in 2017, my quarterback was lighting it up because he was on the field a lot. You understand? Because our defense was good. They got off the field. That's what I want to get back to.
Yeah, but we also had an Alshon Jeffrey that called everything, though, that year. And Zach Ertz that called everything that year. Come on, Tommy. That's 3 years ago, dude. That's 3 years ago.
So let's just use high picks on receivers every year instead of saying, hey, how about one of them we just use one on develops? How about that? Try that for a change.
Let me ask you guys this. And fam, obviously, I want you guys to chime in on this too. And we'll go one by one. Tom, I'll start with you, obviously.
Well, Jake, do you agree with this? We didn't get to Jake yet.
Jake already went. He already went first.
He went. My bad. I caught up with you. You're the one who didn't go. And it was all over the place.
Do you trust Howie? Say, for example, we trade Yannick for Yannick and we don't have a first to take a receiver. Do you trust Howie to do what he hasn't been able to do the last handful of years, maybe in his 10-year period, and that is get a receiver in the later rounds? Do you trust him?
He just used a high pick on one last year, so how can anybody sit here and say trust anything? So the second, how we trusting a first? How do we sit here?
Because we've all talked about, if you try to get to 1 to 3, regardless of if we think it's possible or not, those 3 are more sure things. So like we talked about this last week, if you go for one of the 3, they're more sure things, and the chances of us hitting on those. I completely agree. Like Chuck is saying a million times, oh, there's a million guys. There's a million guys. To Pete's point, like we talked about in the past, we said the same thing with the running backs. We said the same thing about numerous drafts to where, oh, there's a lot of guys at our disposal. And I'm worried. You could say I'm scared that I'm doing it. You can label it however you want. I think that it's a major concern to where 2-3 years ago, to where there was literally every running back in the draft, some undrafted guys, some guys that didn't even get picked until like after the 7th round, they all could play. We got the one guy that couldn't even play in the NFL. He lost his job in the XFL, and we traded up to get him in the 4th. You know what I'm saying? And listen, you could say I'm overvaluing it. That one factor scares me to death with Howie Roseman.
Why doesn't it scare you going up and then so you're not if you the one guy can play at the wide receiver position is Judy. The other guys they might be able to. I'm not saying they can't, but there's one guy that I know can. So outside of that, I'm Russian roulette again. It's a crapshoot. Hopefully I'm right about one of these two out of the 3. Then hopefully I'm right. But what I'm saying to you guys, he just used a high pick on a receiver last year. So this guy's got to get better. It's up to this guy to get better. You can't keep going back in and going for the same damn position high year in and year out and missing. So if it's not Judy, my fear is it's a miss. It's a miss because I don't trust their track record. So instead of missing, let me just go hit and say, all right, how about my scouts and GM nail somebody for once in the 3rd round? How about that? Because teams do it all the time. How about that? Okay? And the people, you draft 2 wide receivers in the first 2 picks. Get a grip. Because then you just used 3 out of 4 first or second round picks on wide receivers in 2 years. That's not what good teams do. So you either need to figure it out elsewhere in a deal, or you need to land a second round pick for once. Okay? Because you can't keep reaching high for one. Because if it's not the best one, it's unknown to me. So it scares me when I got a guy sitting over in Jacksonville, wants the hell out, posting Brian Dawkins pictures to his Instagram. I'm in. You know what I mean? I go pick him up in a quarantine. I'll wear the mask on the way home for the people. He don't even got to fly up for the freaking physical. I'll handle it all. I'll even sit in the meeting. I'll handle the signing of the paperwork too. Nobody's got to touch a pen. I got it.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, but to answer your question, no, I don't trust him. I don't at all. I don't trust him to make the right decision. But if the poll question was, do I trade 21 for Christian McCaffrey? Hands down all day. I wish I could put my hands and my feet up. I understand the poll question is related to Yannick and the news that we see, and him. I don't know if he's trolling us or if he's trying to send a message or what to all the Philly references that he has on his IG. But how he couldn't get it right in the 2nd round pick with JJ Arcega, Whiteside, whatever you want to call him. Maybe Aaron Moorhead now with the new position coach, maybe he can develop him. But I'll give you even better yet. Where's our David Moore? David Moore was drafted 7th round in Seattle. Speed wide receiver, got developed. We haven't even been able to do that. So to sit here and put my faith in this guy to make a decision, and when it comes to evaluating talent at the cornerback position or the wide receiver position, I can't see it. He did what he needed to do with the cornerback position. He went and got premier talent. I will say this. If he wanted to trade 21 for any receiver, any top 10, top 15 receiver last year, I would have more faith in him doing that than being able to draft a good wide receiver and us hit on them in the 1st or 2nd round. That's how much lack of faith I have in Howie Roseman to get this pick right.
Me too. That's why I'm in that other camp, and I know I'm getting heat over here. And please continue to give me heat. Because what everybody thinks is usually the right way to go is the wrong way to go. We've had a track record of that here in Philadelphia as a fan base, me included, right? Me included. So usually what everybody thinks is the right way isn't the right way. And I'm not going to go up there and reach for the 2 or the other 3 that I'm not as sold on as I am as the one, so I go get a wide receiver, just so I got to. And everybody says I need to. I know what our needs are. I know. And you can never have too many DNs who can beat somebody up in front of them. You can never have if you have 8 guys. You're talking about 8 guys now. So now you're rotational. So now you have 2. You're like the Dodgers, righty and lefties, right? You have a right-handed lineup, left-handed lineup. You get the same thing here on your front. You go get this guy. Do you guys understand? I know you guys do. Do people understand how impactful that's going to be? How much this football team is going to win on the defensive side and how much that's going to help this offense. When you talk about Fletcher Cox, can I have a healthy Fletcher Cox and a fresh one in November, December? Can I get that from Wake Jackson? Can I have the same thing for Brandon Graham? Can I keep guys fresher because I can rotate 2 units in, right? And now my second units that are fresher are going against offensive linemen that are worn out. And so it's a recipe for success. Does it mean, that's going to take us over the top? No. Does that mean you still don't need to address the wide receiver position? No. It just means you need to take a step back and decide, hey, can I hit one in the second or third for once? Can I do it for one time? Just one time, Howie Roseman. Can J.J. Arcega-Whiteside actually be some sort of an impact guy in 2020 that you use a second-round pick on? All right, I think we all like Greg Ward a little bit. We don't want him to be our 1 or 2, but we all like him as our 4.
It's going that way, though.
But we all like him
be
as
your
our
1
4.
or 2.
But if you draft a guy in the second or third round, you think that guy's going to come in? I mean, DK Metcalf did, but I mean, the guys really come in second, third round, make impacts year 1. It just depends. Some guys, the wide receiver position, take a year or 2. Okay, maybe JJ's that guy. Hopefully he was just the playbook and things slowing down, and he can make a jump. Am I going to bank on that? I don't want to. But that same 3 wide receiver core, everybody in here last year was acting like we're the best offense in football with them and the tight ends and everything, right? Did I miss something? So in almost like 24 hours, essentially, see how that shifted. All 3 stink. Okay. I don't think the GM feels that way. And I sure don't think he wants to give up $16 million for a guy not to play here.
No. Alshon, what we're learning over the last, let's say, week, if we hadn't already had that inkling, Alshon's going to be here unless there's some situation to where a team sees value in him later in the year. He's not, but everybody that's saying, oh, there's still a chance he gets cut next week. No, if he's not going to be here, day 1, whatever that is for the NFL, for the Eagles, he's going to be moved very, very late, like on the doorsteps of the season. That is when the only chance he's moved. But like, for example, and like I obviously there's a ton of comments, but like Chuck's going crazy, obviously. Chuck's 2 things. Number 1, nobody is saying that we should now ignore the position. Nobody's saying that. And 2, he's saying there's too many people acting like there's no hope that Howie can get a stud on day 2. First off, nobody said that. And 2, when has he, Chucks? Let's forget about Howie. The organization. When have they? I'll wait.
Well, you hope it was last year's pick because you don't know yet.
And that's the one opportunity. And like I said, Tom, like we talked about before, I'm not ready to say JJ is in the same bubble as the Matt Collins and the Shelton Gibsons of the world. He's in his own category. He's a wait and see type thing. So I'm not even, so anybody at home thinks I'm putting him in there, I'm not. So other than that, who is hit? Where's that track record? We talk about track records with Howie when he does things well. We have to put it on this side too. Like I said, I want Yannick Ngakoue here. That's why it's funny. This conversation is the perfect example why 2 weeks ago we had that in-depth conversation on why I'm not just trying to get Yannick. I'm trying to get Chork and Yannick and giving up some extra, obviously, a lot extra, because that means you hit on 2 first-round talents. That's why I went to there first before I even just settled at Yannick.
Yeah, like you can hit day 2 picks. It's doable, right? I mean, it's like it doesn't look good because you used one last year, but like I'm gonna keep saying it, guys. Like you can't just. They assume that he's still going to be able to. That he'll be able to grow in JJ. Hence why they didn't go out and address it, right? They also think that okay, everything's good with Alshon. I told you guys this the other day. The leader of the locker room has been confirmed on the offense side of the football last year over the stretch. The final stretch. There was no questions anymore. The guy put a team on his back. What everybody asked him to do, right? So now nobody has a leg to stand on with the narrative of selfish, ego, A, B, C, or D now. So to bring Alshon back essentially doesn't mean you're going to have a bad chemistry in the locker room. Just don't forget week 1. That's all I want people to do. Take the injuries away because injury rate in the NFL is 100. All right? So just take it away for 1 minute and just assume you get health for a year from these guys. Week 1, especially in that second half, Deshaun and Carson had a connection quick. So I'm going to put a little hope that maybe some guys can stay a little healthy too and still draft one. I'm still drafting a receiver second or third round, even making this move. But just hoping that JJ can develop a little bit, Greg Ward can develop a little bit, and hoping that these two can stay somewhat healthy. Because you saw it early on. It was the perfect combo to each other. It's the perfect combo if they're healthy. Perfect. Deep threat, catch radius cat. Perfect combo. So I understand the need, but if it's not Jerry Jeudy, I ain't going the hell up. That's it. That's it. I mean, it's not it for the show, but that's where I stand with it. It's just if it's not Jeudy, I'm not reaching and going up. I'll nail one later on, and I'm going to pray to God that the 4 receivers that I do have on this roster, 2 can continue to develop, and the other 2 can stay healthy because I think it can be dangerous, just like we thought it would be last year. It just didn't come to fruition because guys were banged up.
Ralphie, find the remember that tweet that you sent me, that trade scenario? You sent it in the group a few days ago, Ralphie.
Yeah.
Try to find that and then bring it up. Read it for the people.
I'll give it a second.
Let's see here.
I love your chart ad though, Tom. I mean, if I could do 21 Rasul Douglas and maybe our second to get Yannick and Chark, you kill 2 birds with one stone. They've shown you. You know what I mean? They've shown you they couldn't draft a cornerback. They tried. Couldn't do one. Couldn't develop one. What did they do? What Jim Schwartz gets his way, right? It's more faith in Doug Peterson to be able to make lemonade out of spoiled lemons than what Jim Schwartz could do. Every year with the defense, we see Jim Schwartz needs this. Jim Schwartz needs this. But you know what I mean? So we got Alexis Hernandez saying the longer the Yannick thing goes, the better it is for us, which is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the Jags will have no choice but to dump for the closer that we get to the draft. But did you see what came out today? I had a Bleacher Report hit saying the Jags are saying Yannick has mutual interest from other teams. So that goes along with what Alexis is saying, because it's like, why would the Jags not put that out there in the universe? They don't want to diminish their asset. They want to create the illusion that there is a bidding war so that the Eagles really outbid themselves. So now let's just chill and wait. Howie's good at that part.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at that part. Draft for so much, I don't care how much talent, just because there could be 99 talented players at a position in the draft out of 102. Chances are we'll get one of those 3 for whatever reason, and they'll always spin it with a backstory as to why we like one of those 3, and they'll end up in Midnight Green. Why? I don't want to see that on Sunday. I want to see talent. Let's get talent.
And that's what Adam Rush says. If you know the quality of player you're getting in return, get them. Not all draft picks pan out like we hope. And I think that was all my point was from the beginning is I've always been in the business, any sport. I will trade picks for proven talent under the age of 25, 26. Every single time. Because, granted, I got to pay guys. I understand that side of it. But I also got to pay picks, too. I also got to pay first rounders a lot of money. So it's not like I don't have to pay one way or the other. So I'm just a believer in guys like this don't come around often where you have the chance to get your hands on and get a deal done right away and put him with the rest of your defensive front where you have a lot of money tied up and have an identity. You know, and then you have a big-time identity on the other side of your football. You go out, you get Slay. Now you have that corner goes everywhere with the number 1. You know, you're talking about a top 5 defense in football. You make this deal, guys. I mean, does one of the right receivers make us a top 5 offensive football right away? Right away?
But it'll give you a quarterback something to throw to.
Does it make us a top 5 offense right away?
One move does.
Yeah, the one guy does. The one guy
does.
Jeudy does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeudy probably does. But the other guys, anybody else? Day one, guaranteeing? Because I'm guaranteeing with Yannick, I'm a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
Tom, who would you real quick? Tom, who would you rather have, Jeudy or Yannick?
Jeudy, because I'm just a Jeudy lover.
Okay. All right.
No, you know my stance. I've been talking about trading up for Jeudy from day one. But I'm starting to believe that's not going to happen. So now, and with the Yannick stuff coming out, I'll shift my focus because I don't believe he's going to do that. This has more of his identity on it.
Now, if they, say for example, they did, get Yannick. Would you want them, or could you even see them doing a situation where they got Yannick and then they traded, a later round pick for Brandon Cooks? Would you want that?
I would take a flyer on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hate it. Band-Aid-ish, but I wouldn't hate it.
Then I'll bring up the other name that we were talking the other day, and Fam at home obviously chime in on this too. And guys, the other three guys in here too. Would you like, or you think it's realistic for them to trade for Yannick and then sign Watkins if he gets cut and sign him for cheap?
Yeah, maybe rather have Cooks, maybe.
Sammy Watkins.
Come
on, man.
I'd rather have Cooks.
Oh, of course. I'm just saying because with Watkins, you have to trade assets.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, if Howie
are you awake now, Ralphie? You awake?
It's just amazing,
man. Juicy juice, you awake?
It's just amazing with Sammy. Whatever.
Go on.
I guess everybody's fine with Carson throwing a slop this year. So
no,
it is what it is.
That's the problem, Ralph. You hit the nail right on the head. Like, why are we shouldn't be in this position to discuss a Sammy Watkins or a Brandon Cooks? But the fact of the matter is we're here.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be hard pressed to say if Howie's on the phone, I think it's David Caldwell in Jacksonville, and he's talking about Yannick. If Howie doesn't say, you know what if we give you 21 and our next year one, you give us 9. That way they have 20 and 21, and they have our one next year. Try. Like, the worst thing they can say is say no. You see what I'm saying? Because then you're turning in 2 first-round picks into 3, which now you have 20 and 21. So say if we get 9 and say for some reason they're able now to get ammo and say they want to get back up, say Henry Ruggs drops to 12. They can go to Oakland, or Henry Ruggs drops to 11. They can go to the Jets and say, we'll give you 20 and 21, move up to 11. They get Ruggs. It's a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even, like Tom said, I don't think it's in Howie's DNA to even put that offer out there in the universe.
No, I don't think he values that position as much as he values other ones. There's a better chance of him going up and trying to get Chase Young than there is going up and getting Judy. If you want to look at it, track record and MO, it's just more realistic on his end. Not going to happen either, but it's just more his style. Like you said, more his DNA. But at the end of the day, any receiver that we're talking about that's out there or could be traded or released, they're Band-Aids. And we all know that.
Yep.
I know Ted saying that Ralph is the voice of reason. Is the reason, the voice of reason in this conversation. Okay. I mean, maybe he is, but he hasn't had a stance on it. He don't know what the hell he wants to do. He's changed his stance. So
come back tomorrow. He'll switch it again.
Yeah, if that's the voice of reason, help me then. Help me help you. Because to me, it's I don't know. You can go so many different ways with it, but it's just don't act like there's no talent offensively at all.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the wide receiver position is bleak.
It is, though. That you have.
That's on that.
That's just what I'm trying to get to, though, dude. It's just what I'm trying to get to. You have 2 wide receivers right now who can't stay. They always get banged up. Always banged up. Look at Deshaun Jackson when he left Philly and went to Tampa Bay. His last 2 years at Tampa Bay, dude couldn't even run 5 yards without tearing his hamstring. Right? Comes back, gets injured the second game of the year and is basically out.
Did you like him coming back, though, when it happened? Were you upset by it?
I was iffy. I was 50-50, but my concern with Deshaun Jackson was the injury thing.
I'm going to go check that tape.
Go ahead. Go check it. Go check it.
Said 50-50 the day he was brought.
Absolutely.
Okay.
50-50.
50-50.
It comes down to this, and we can see what Chuck's in the chat. He's going crazy. It's whether or not you believe 2 factors: Howie and his ability to draft and evaluate. And Chuck just said Howie only had 5 picks 2018, 2019. I get all that. But Howie's ability to evaluate and draft, but then also we are viewing our wide receiver core in a different light than what the people who actually are in charge are viewing him as. And why are we putting so much in Deshaun Jackson's plate? I don't want to put our offensive success, that much of that pie, on Deshaun Jackson's plate. And then after that, it's like, what else do we have? So And everybody can see you coming up for a wide receiver a mile away because you made it such a drastic thing by the way that you handled this free agency offseason. I think we will all be looking at this a little bit differently if you would have said, okay, Brashard Perriman, we'll give you 1 year, $7 million. And then all five of us here, the fam at home, we would be able to breathe a sigh of relief and say, okay, now you have options. But we don't have that where we're sitting here talking about Sammy Watkins and Brandon Concussion Cooks.
Yeah.
No, I think the more things that people should focus on are two guys on the roster right now, right? I mean, I think that should be more the focus. You know, you had a guy make plays down the stretch for you last year. Like it or not, we don't. He's not he's not a number one, but you have a guy on this roster. Like, I like some guys who fight too, right? I like some guys with some dog in them. I like some guys who want a contract. Sometimes that's okay too. All right, not every first-round pick is going to be the guy. Now, the Great War's not going to be the guy, but he's serviceable. He made big plays when nobody else was making plays on the outside. He was the only guy making plays. So hopefully, he just became a wide receiver. He wasn't a wide receiver in college. He was a damn quarterback. So he just became one. So maybe he gets a little bit better at it. Maybe. This is what you got to put your hope into. JJ, second-round pick, hopefully gets a little bit better. I mean, come on. Can you get 40 catches, 600 yards? 5-6 TDs. I mean, there's guys in this chat that thought he was going to go for $1,000 last year. So, I mean, not every pick right away is nailed, right? Where you can be like, it's nailed. Some guys take time. Am I in the business of loving guys taking time? Hell no. But I got to understand how the league works too. That maybe JJ can become the second round pick he was supposed to be. Maybe become that player that we use that pick on. But what are you going to have, 6 wide receivers on your roster? You know what I mean? So you can't keep going into the well when you have guys signed here, Ralph. Like, Ralphie, I get it, the Alshon and Deshaun thing, but this is his doing. You got to live with it.
It's the bet we made.
You make. It's a bet you made up. That you can't just change it all in one offseason. It's impossible. And you know this team, they ain't eating that money. When they think a guy,
and that's the thing that sucks about it, is that we all know that Howie's not gonna eat that money. Well, and there's no team in the NFL that's willing to take on that whole salary of Alshon Jeffrey.
Why would you?
That's what I'm saying. So either way, you're stuck with him.
Okay, so now you put hope into the guy can get healthy and be on the football field for you. How about that?
But can he, though? The last 2 years, he hasn't been able to do that.
I get that. But sometimes things even out a little bit.
The hope of having Deshaun and Alshon healthy for a full year, and that's just going out the door with me every single time how he opens up his mouth about these two.
Well, can I tell you what to hang your hat on? Right? Guys stay on the field when they want to get another contract. All right? Just remember I said that. When guys want to get their next one or their last one,
but I mean, Alshon's got $26 million in the bank already, brother. So how much? Where's the fuel? Excuse me, to get back onto the field this year when you have $26 million guaranteed already in your bank account?
How bad?
I can take the my foot hurts. I'm done. I got $26 million in the bank. I'll take it. I'll sit. I'll sit for the year. My foot still hurts, Howie.
So he doesn't want another
I can't go.
Yeah, he doesn't want another deal. He doesn't want another 10 mil. He doesn't want another 10 mil.
I don't. 31 years old. I wouldn't be surprised if he hangs it up anytime soon.
Ralphie, let me ask you this. Would you?
34. He's not 34. He still has another deal to come. And not a big one, but he still has one more little deal, 2-year deal to come. I'm telling you
the dude was dropping everything last year.
This is your first time watching pro sports?
Come on, man. The dude was dropping everything last year.
Okay. But
you can't run from that. You can't run from that.
He was dropping everything.
Come on, dude. He wasn't making the same catches he was the first 2 years we had him, dude. Come on, man.
I understand that. Guys get complacent when the bank account gets full. But what I'm telling you is when guys stop getting complacent. Guys stop getting complacent when their contract's coming up soon. Because you can't go 3 years and not be on the field and expect to even get a deal anytime or get cut from the money you're supposed to get now. So at some point, you hope that plays a part.
Keep in mind, too, guys, I don't believe that, Pete, I think you said it earlier. A lot of guys said it earlier. I don't believe you do have to give up this year's first for Yannick because, I believe somebody said earlier, The more time passes, the more it goes in our favor. And two, whoever gets him still has to pay him. Still has to pay him. So it's not like, oh, we're getting him on a 2-year deal, friendly contract. No, we have to pay him. So the Jaguars obviously know that they don't have leverage for two things. Number one, because they have to pay. Whoever gets him has to pay him. And two, he's going on Twitter saying he wants out. You know what I'm saying? He's posting Instagram photos of him in an Eagles uniform or past Eagles defensive lineman. So I'm not going to say the Eagles or any team has all of the leverage, but like we talked about, the more time passes, the more the chance grows of us possibly stealing them.
Yeah, I hate when people put words in my mouth, Bill. Okay? Now you're putting words in my mouth. Did I not sit here and say I'm taking a wide receiver second or third too? Did I not say that? I must have missed not saying that throughout this whole thing. I must have missed saying, I'm just not drafting one. Period. I don't value it. When did I say that?
But you also said that you don't trust Howie hitting one on day 2 and day 3.
Trusting and doing are two different damn things, Ralph. There's trusting a guy to nail it, and there's him doing it. I'm not telling him not to do it. You're going to trust it? Fine, trust it. But at no point did I say I'm still not addressing it. I love it. Take whatever you want out of what people say. Take whatever you want out. Little bits and pieces. Okay? All I'm trying to tell you is a Pro Bowl DN's out there going to be 25 years old. Okay. I'll get Justin Jefferson then. Justin Jefferson. He's the savior of our offense.
And like I said, when the season happens and Carson has nobody to throw to, I don't want to hear you bitch. I don't want to hear you bitch and complain.
Wow.
So there's that.
What am I bitching and complaining about? You bitch and complain more than anybody I ever met about this stuff. Okay, I'm telling you, you got to be able to address it in later rounds. You can't just always be, first round, got to take a wide receiver. Got to take a wide receiver. You have a chance to get better defensively. You got a guaranteed chance of getting better. So you take that opportunity.
Had you known that DeAndre was
I guess you're confident with the slop. So it is what it is.
That's what I said too. I've made that clear throughout this that I'm confident.
You have though.
No,
you would rather have Carson have slop and then have no toys. It's okay though.
Toys.
I see you.
Toys. The toys that you were crowning before 2019. The toys that you were running up and down fucking Broad Street talking about the best offense in football. Them toys.
Yep.
Because I'll go back and pull tape. Because we all sat here and said it.
Walking.
We all said it.
He doesn't run. Walk.
I see you.
Brisk pace.
Crawl.
What were you saying? Pete?
I was gonna say, had we known that Hopkins was available, essentially what this is coming down to is Yannick is available and is at an elite position. It so happens that he plays defense, where we see that the need so far and the lack of attention has gone to the offense. Had Howie known that he could have had Hopkins or Yannick for the 21st overall pick, which route do you think he would have went?
What do you guys think?
Say that again. Say that again, Pete. Say it again.
So the 21st overall pick, the poll question is, will we trade the 21st overall pick for Yannick? Had Howie known that Hopkins, because remember they said that Houston did not present them the same deal that Arizona got, said if Bill O'Brien, crazy Bill O'Brien, says, you know what, Howie, give me 21st overall pick and you have Hopkins. If Howie had both options available to him, which route does he go?
I'm going Hopkins. Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
but it's what route does he go?
Yeah.
I
know what we would do.
What route does he go?
What route does Howie go?
That's tough, man, because I would like to think it's the Hopkins route, but the thing that gives me pause with that is the fact that when you talk about last season, in a season where we were all in, win it all, and I'll preface it by saying I still believe we're closer to win it all mode than rebuild mode. So I'm not trying to create the narrative that we're rebuilding and we have no plans of winning, at least at a high rate this season. But we talk about how many moves Howie dismissed or moved on from because he had to trade away too many assets. You talk about, obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, Ramsey and Fitzpatrick, and then Sanders and Anderson, on the offensive side of the ball, to where Howie has shown while being aggressive, especially in the Super Bowl year, obviously going out and getting, a guy like Jay Jai, or in 2018 going out and getting the Golden Tate. He has shown that over the last year and a half, he has been more cautious to give up crazy amounts of assets. So while my first inkling is that he would go the Hopkins route, I'm not. That's a great question, Pete, because we're kind of on the doorstep of Howie Roseman 2 years ago going all in, doesn't matter draft picks. He'll go into a draft with just 5 picks. Now you see, obviously, him talk about it numerous times this offseason that he likes having volume of picks, flexibility in the draft. So I'm almost leaning that he would say no, that he would go with this route.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he would go this route as well. It's just his MO. Let me ask you guys a question because ESPN just put out a mock. All right, there was just a mock. It might have been McShay's, but he doesn't have us taking a receiver at 21.
He doesn't even have us taking a receiver in the first 2 rounds.
Okay, but I'm saying he has us taking Patrick Queen from LSU. You guys go with that?
I'm not against it.
Not against
take
it
it.
at all.
Take it.
I'm
So
not
now I'm
against
going
it.
to expose you over here. I'm
Take
going
it.
to take you down now. So we're good. I like Patrick Queen. Don't get me wrong, because SEC's my style of play. Big fan. But we're good with Patrick fucking Queen over Yannick. We're good with that. Everybody out there, we're cool with that.
Because you need a linebacker, Tommy.
And you
There
don't
you
need a
go.
at the end.
Oh, my God.
Goes off sides 100 times.
Dude, you need.
100
You
times.
got Nathan Jerry.
100 times a year. He's going off sides.
You got Nathan Jerry as your middle linebacker right now.
100 times.
As your middle linebacker, Nathan freaking Jerry, who was a safety at Nebraska.
I
Come
know.
on, dude.
Another
Open your eyes, dude.
I'm
You're
using
the
him.
linebacker right there, 21.
So
Take
Patrick Queen.
him, call it a day.
Oh, I'm asking
Then
you.
go get your wide receiver in the second round.
I don't think. Come on. I've been on the second.
Gatorade, not a goddamn sponsor.
Now you're in the second round wide receiver game, which I just talked about, which you were totally against. I got you all up in here now because you're telling the people Patrick Queen is going to have a better career than Yannick.
He's a linebacker, though, dude.
I don't give a shit where he plays. Who has a better career?
Well, obviously not Patrick Queen. He hasn't even stepped in the league yet.
I'm asking you to tell us. Maybe he does, according to you. Jake,
Still taking
Patrick
it
Queen
21.
better than Yannick? Have a better career?
You can't make that comparison. when you
Absolutely,
do that.
whatever the hell I want to do.
You can't. You can't,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You
dick.
can't.
Just
That's
dick.
stupid.
Whoever
That's dumb.
more of an impact for the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's dumb.
Well, the thing you're comparing an elite talent to an unproven commodity.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank
This
you.
is my whole point.
Come on,
This is why you
bro.
make the deal. Thank you. Thank you, boys.
That's stupid.
Time's yours.
That's dumb.
Just
That's
made my-
stupid.
Time's yours.
I mean, I still take Queen at 21. It is what it is.
Okay, no, Jake just made my point to go against you.
Go right ahead. Like I said, Ralph versus A2D. I love it, baby. Gotta be outside the box.
I like Queen a
I
lot.
love it.
I would have no problem if we drafted him at 21. But
The
everybody
only-
would be okay with that,
Right.
but not okay with Yannick. I don't get them people. That's all.
For me, it's the money. You can get almost elite level. Hopefully, if Queen pans out, elite level linebacker play under a more manageable contract, especially when Carson's cap number. Like Brian said, it's not that we don't want Yannick from talent standpoint. Yeah, all day, twice on Sunday. It's just that number, that bottom number, what he's going to be getting paid.
But
You know,
Yeah,
what I
that
mean?
doesn't even phase me because the cap
Yeah.
goes up every year anyway.
Yeah, and Pete, I will say this. While I think I bring up the money because I believe we have more leverage, it's not a worry of mine because, like we talked about, like I think Chuck's was saying, and Chuck's, he's probably going to go crazy again because I brought him up. Chuck's, he was talking about with McCaffrey last Tuesday. And Pete, you were on the show, so correct me if I'm wrong. He was saying that one of the things that he's concerned about is paying him. Well, Tom and I have talked about this before. If you are in the position to where you have to pay a top talent, that means you have a top talent. Teams would beg to just have the opportunity to have a top talent, nonetheless of having him and having to pay him. Teams can't even get those top talents.
Mhm.
To speak off of that, how many issues in life you wish you can just throw money at just to make them go away?
Mhm.
So
Like-
you hit the nail right on the head there. Like if you have the ability just to write a check for a product on the field that's going to be in the league, that's half the problem. That's the least of my worries. I make that happen.
Yep.
But
Listen, because at the end of the day, Tom, you know we've talked about this before. It's not my money. I don't
That's true.
care. It's not my money. You're not taking money out of my pocket.
No, I'd rather spend money. I'd rather spend money up front than spend money in skill positions.
That's fair.
If I can't protect, it don't matter.
If you can't get to the quarterback and you can't protect the quarterback, it doesn't matter who you have in the secondary and the wide receivers because you don't have any time.
Good pass rush makes
have guys that can protect the quarterback.
Good pass rush makes average corners better.
Oh yeah, and now
Good
you have above average corners
right now.
almost.
That showed in 2017 too, Tom. You know what I'm saying? You look at obviously, and I'm not trying to say that Mills is slop or anything. I will say that about Darby at times. You know that, but you saw that because we had the ability to get to the quarterback, that kind of overruled some of the lacking talent we had in the secondary and even in the linebacking core at times, especially when we were hurt. In 2018, we didn't see that. While we had the same talent in the secondary, you didn't see that production on the defense because we lost the ability to get to the quarterback.
Yep. Bill, I'm not on anything, baby. I'm on real talk. So I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm on something for giving up the 20. I ain't giving up fucking a top 10 pick. Are y'all okay? You act like we got a top 10 pick. Like, oh my God, Tom, you got all these deep receivers and you're just going to throw picks away. You're unbelievable. I can't. Are you on something? Yeah, Bill, I'm on that. I got a guy that's a Pro Bowler that wants out somewhere and I can win up front and my D-line's already there. So that's what I'm on. I'm on driving the damn Jacksonville and picking the dude up. That's what I'm on, Bill. I'm on a guy who's going to come in day one and be impactful, right? That's what I'm on, Bill. I'm on a guy that's going to go to 7 or 8 Pro Bowls. That's what I'm on, Bill. So you can be on the unknown, and I'm going to stay on the known. I love exposing you. It's easy. I mean, it's just easy money sometimes. I love it.
Doesn't it scare you that we just harken back to 2017, and we looked at this wide receiver core isn't even anywhere near what we had in 2017.
Nope. Not even close, Pete, and I totally agree. Well, let's go get the defensive lineman. But, yeah.
No, I won't say I agree with you to a point. But I still would I can't say I don't want Yannick. Yannick wouldn't be an asset to this team. And if you have to spend 21, and ultimately you have to spend 21, because if Judy isn't there at 21 and you're comparing, all right, whatever any name player X, Y, Z at 21 greater than or equal to Yannick, that's not going to happen.
See, Pete, I will disagree with you partially on one thing. Is it the same as 2017? No. But I don't think it's as far off as we think it is, because we have to remember one thing. When healthy, I think it's closer than we think. When healthy. Now, obviously, that's a big if, and yes. I'm not betting, nor I don't think anybody should be betting, that we're going to maintain full health at the wide receiver position, especially when you talk about those two, obviously, Alshon and Deshaun. But when healthy, I think it could be something close, because at the end of the day, it's not like we had freaking DeAndre Hopkins or a talent like that in 2017. Mm-hmm. We had Alshon, who he was never a great number one. He was a very good wide receiver that had really good hands. Obviously, we've seen that dip over the last 2 years, along with the health. The speed, I always laugh when people say, "Oh, Alshon slowed down." Alshon was never fast. He was never fast. He was never Deshaun. The problem with Alshon is that he can't stay healthy, and his hands have they've just disappeared. They've been like freaking hot hands from Little Giants.
That's their head.
So that's obviously big. But you saw, and I understand, I am the first one to agree with it. It was only one game. But we saw what we were capable of week one with Deshaun and Alshon on the same field. We saw it. We saw glimpses of it. Now, again, am I expecting that all season next year? No, because I don't believe they'll stay healthy or even be available to stay healthy that entire time. But the one thing I disagree with is, am I disappointed with the situation at wide receiver? Absolutely. Do I believe we should and probably need to take a receiver in the first round? Yes, as we've illustrated numerous times. But I wouldn't be going out there saying it's one of the worst receiver cores in the league. I think, people saying it's slop. No, it's disappointing because the assets that we have high value in are either never healthy or have just dramatically dipped. If they're on the field, and again, this is all based off of paper, but that's the whole point of it. That's the point of free agency. That's the point of putting X amount of dollars or trade assets into it. It's based off of what they can do, not what they will do. I believe it's much better than we think.
That's to a point, but let's not kid ourselves. Even in 2017, when Alshon did play, was he really healthy, or did he not have to have surgery in the offseason? So he just decided to play through it.
True.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's great for debate, fam. That's why we're here. You can see us as a platform talent, and even in the comments, we all debate. There's no right or wrong answer. I mean, this is how we feel. This is our opinion. So let your opinion be heard. You see, Middlebrook is definitely taking it today. He's coming right at Tom's net. We got Ralphie over there clapping. We got Jake eating his popcorn because it's entertaining.
So, Bill, did I say that I wouldn't do it for a second or a fourth? It's just a poll question. Would I trade the first? If that's what I had to do to get it done, is the poll, Bill. Doesn't mean I ain't gonna. No shit. I'd rather send a second and a fourth. You idiot. My God. Of course, I'd want to, like Pete said earlier. I think you can get away with it for not as much. Well, of course, I'm in that business. Damn it! I'm just saying the poll was for the first. Would you do it for the first? Yes. So, would I rather do it for a second and fourth? Sure. But then we got to nail that wide receiver again. It's just amazing because you haven't developed any.
Release the hounds.
And this, where am I flip-flops?
Oh, man.
I didn't flip-flop this whole time. I haven't flip-flopped this whole time. I wanted Judy. If I can't get Judy, I'm just not going to draft one in the first round and settle at 21. That's not a flip-flop. If I get Yannick and I had to give up 21, not a flip-flop. But if I give up less, sure. Not sure I'd have to flip-flop.
So, Tom, if they stay there at 21 and they get Jefferson or Mims, are you going to sleep angry?
No. Just, okay. Not easy.
It just doesn't get you excited. It doesn't really move the needle for you like crazy.
His offense doesn't become this explosive juggernaut.
Okay.
Right.
Because I get a second tier guy. Not yet. Just like JJ. A lot of guys thought he was going to have a great rookie year. Didn't. It's the unknown of it. But I don't think any one of them second tier guys day one becomes that impactful, or me trusting that we get the guy who is impactful out of that second tier. Because there's guys that are going to be impactful in that second tier. It's just I don't believe until I see it that we're going to nail one of them guys. I don't like having this feeling, man. I like CD Michael Taylor. I like him. I know other guys like him. But I don't think he's a can't-miss guy. I can't miss. I like him. I think he's going to be really good. But I don't know if he can't miss. The guy who played in the SECs can't miss. Guy who can run every route in your arsenal. That's the can't miss. So.
And when you look at Alabama and you look at who Judy is being compared to, you have, all right, for instance, USC wide receivers, bad stigma, right? Alabama #1 wide receivers. When they come out, it's not like their defensive players where they get beat up on. They still got a lot left in the tank. Look at Calvin Ridley. You look at Julio. I mean, so when you look at Judy, you look at Ruggs. I mean, I will go Judy, Ruggs, and then Lamb, but it's Judy above everything else. And can't remember since the last time since T.O. that we've had a wide receiver we could say that about. That is truly already coming into the league, maybe a top 10 talent, and you already have a top 3, top 5 talent quarterback. And anybody who disagrees with that, you can at me, argue with me all day. Because when Carson's on, he's on. Look at what we just sat here, looked at this 4-game winning streak to end last season. He had these guys, like TA said, people thinking that our offense, there's no problems with it. We can go back. That was Carson. That was Carson making plays, extended drives, and making tough throws. The same shit he did in 2017. So if you get talent around that, then you're elevating that even more.
But Tommy doesn't want talent around him. He wants a defensive lineman.
What happened?
You don't want talent around Carson. You want a defensive lineman.
That's what I said. That's what I said throughout my whole spiel about, hey, let me nail one in the second round. Let me try nail one in the third round. Let me do what other organizations do. Yeah, that's what I said. Because I've
You would have rather trade the 21st pick for Yannick.
Because guess what? Defenses don't complement offenses, and offenses don't complement defenses. Because that's what you're telling me. Because that means you never watch football in your damn life. They complement each other. So you're telling me Yannick isn't a weapon to Carson? He absolutely is. Just because he ain't throwing him the damn ball, don't make him not a weapon and a help for this football team. Okay? So when I can get off the field on third downs all day long and I can create turnovers, that's a weapon, is it not?
Yeah, but when you have an offense that had, let me say. But when you have an offense,
hold on, you answer with yes or no. Then you go into your second part. 101.
To get Yannick as a weapon.
Yes, that's not a weapon to your football team. You guys think about that. You should punch yourself square in the face right now. You should be like Tropic Thunder. Step away from the phone and punch yourself square in the fucking face. That's what you should do right now.
It's just, I just don't.
We got nothing to argue about. And we're still arguing. I love it.
Ralphie, he can't get over free agency, man. When you we all had hope, fans out there. We talk amongst ourselves every day. And sometimes if a conversation get hot, you can go away for about 5 or 10 minutes to come back to like 200 unread messages. It's happened. Trust me. It's amazing. When we saw those numbers come out for what Robbie Anderson signed for and what Perriman signed for, and it takes you back to like,
yep.
We couldn't do that.
Howie sat there with his thumb up his ass and did nothing. Yep.
And we still have $27 million in cap space.
Yep.
For what? For who? For what?
Extending Zach Ertz. That's what it's for.
Yeah, Ralphie shot down like a dog. You know what I mean? Like Ralphie's been like abused over the last month.
The only reason why is because I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being linked to all these fucking guys and not hitting at least one of them, dude.
Who?
Dude, Corey Littleton was one of them. Dude.
Okay, now you're going.
And he got cheap. And he got cheap. You need a linebacker, Tommy.
Hold on, honey. I've been all over Corey Littleton.
You need a linebacker.
I yelled and screamed for Corey Littleton.
And we didn't get him.
Because what does it tell you again? On what your GM values and doesn't value. So you're all telling me I'm wrong because I just know what he values. I watched this act. So for everybody like Bill who thinks, Tommy, you told me he can't nail late round picks, so you're going to trust him to nail one later in the draft. But I said that I didn't trust him to nail one later in the draft. And I also prefaced it by saying that if you don't trust him later, how the hell do you trust him early? You don't trust him later, but you trust him to trade up and nail it. Okay, get a fucking clue.
If he takes
anybody who thinks that,
Jerry Judy, he's good to go. He's good to go, in my honest opinion.
Hold on. If you don't trust him to nail one later, but you trust giving up his so-called important assets to go up and get one, I consider all you people.
You already know what I would do. I would trade all the way up and get Judy.
Me too. But just take the fact that we know what Judy is, right? We don't trust him.
Stud. He's the best route runner I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, I've been on my knees blowing him for a long time. All right, and I got a mouthful. All right. Sometimes I get a little coffee and choked up, so don't think I got the virus. But what I'm telling you is that everybody that is scared of him missing one in the second round or missing one in the third round, you then trust him to give up your assets and picks. Now you're okay with that, with going up with his track record and nailing one. For everybody who thinks that's going to be a guarantee, you're clueless. That's all my point is.
But like you just said, for him to move up to get somebody, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to move up and get in a Jerry Judy at the 9th or 8th pick. I'm willing to, because I know that dude can step in and change a franchise and change the mindset of this offense. Come on, man. I'm done picking project guys, bro. I'm done. I'm done with that shit. Just go up, grow a set, and go get your guy at number. Go get your guy.
Dude, that takes a lot of tango, right? Like for a team to be willing to move out of that pick too. And so it's not as easy. When you're talking about a guy who wants out of somewhere, that's a lot easier.
And they're sitting at number 9. They're sitting at number 9 for you.
What
Why
they
Come
don't
on,
need
put
to have
something
happen.
together.
Why would they
Put
give
something together.
I'll tell you why, TA. As we see the same mock draft that you talked about with ESPN, it was McShay's 4.0. He has Jacksonville drafting Justin Herbert at 9. But the best thing for us, if Herbert comes off the board before 9 and he's not available, then Jacksonville has no stake in the game to stay there at 9. That's when you make the offer. 21, next year's 1. Let's get up to 9.
And guess
Let's
what?
get Judy, and let's everybody go to fuck home happy.
And guess what, Pete? He ain't getting past the Chargers, brother. If he's
You don't
there,
think
if
so?
he's nah, he ain't getting past the Chargers.
I think they go Jordan.
If he's
That's
still
the
there,
team.
I don't know about that, man.
I think they go
agree,
QB.
Pete.
I think they go Jordan Love, or they may go Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Going back on what you're saying with Jacksonville, if they have their eyes set on Justin Herbert at 9, right, and they stay put and hope that he falls there, I think he goes to 6 to the Chargers. I think that's their guy right there.
And Tua to 5 to Miami is not a lock. So if Tua's on the board still at 6, you come on, man. Like any quarterback, whatever quarterback Jacksonville wants, if they're not on the board at 9, make the call, Howie. Make the call. Just make it easy on yourself because you can't do it. If a gun was to your head and they said draft a wide receiver in the later rounds, that would be able to be developed and contribute. Howie would not be able to do that. We're all confident saying that because he hasn't shown that he can do it. So after those 3, after Judy, Ruggs, and Lamb, Mims, Jefferson, I heard some people, we saw a comment, Mims compared to Julio Jones. Julio Jones, great route runner, combination, everything. Mims isn't there yet. Size, speed, yes. Hands, maybe, yes. Route runner, no. He's not to that level yet. Where Judy is a direct Julio.
He's a guy that can come in and he's going to change your whole wide receivers up.
Yes.
And I love that. You need somebody like that. But we all know Howie's not going to do that, and I fully expect him to either stay at 21 or move down.
That was my whole point.
For you, Ralphie, is it just you don't want to trade? So you don't agree with the poll to trade 21 for Yannick? But so what would you want him to do with that?
But I would trade up and get Jerry Judy. That's what I would do.
But at 21, if you're Howie and the pick is there, who are you taking?
Patrick Queen. I'm getting my linebacker. I'm getting my linebacker at 21.
Okay, so elite level stud linebacker in the draft, second behind Isaiah Simmons. So you rather take that talent than outside of drafting like a Jefferson or a Mims or somebody like that.
Yeah,
because I can come back in the second round and get somebody.
You hope.
Yep. No, I think
it's no different than what I said.
There's going to be.
Ralphie, what happened to you being afraid of them doing that though? What happened? Because in that scenario, if you're not taking a receiver first, then in that same scenario, you can trade a first for Yannick and then still get a receiver in the second.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm taking Patrick Queen at 21 though. I'm staying put.
But what happened to your rant saying that Howie needs to get Carson somebody to throw to?
Yeah. I'm done with the project guys, but I'm going off of what Howie's going to do.
Oh, so me saying that to everybody that I'm going off of what more realistic of him to do was egregious to everybody. But now when it fits who you'd pick at 21, now it's not egregious.
No, because I'm taking Patrick Queen at 21. I'm getting my linebacker.
Okay, and I can get my D end. It's proven that D ends are more important than linebackers.
We'll see.
Exactly.
I don't know about that, but all right.
Pretty important.
That's pretty dumb.
Look around the league, babe. Look around the league. How many linebackers go top 5? How many DNs go top 5? Look around the goddamn league. How many linebackers go 1 overall? How many DNs go 1 overall? Look around the damn league on importance.
Look at Clowney, bro. Look at Clowney. It's
not the point.
Look at Clowney.
What team's value? It's not the
right.
point.
Clowney was the first overall pick. Couldn't even sniff 10 sacks a season. Come on, bro. That is the point. That is the point.
Impact. I'm talking about what do teams value more. Listen to what I'm saying. What do teams value more? Early on the draft, QB, offensive tackle, defensive end. Did I miss something?
Ralphie, with what you just said, after the first hour you talk about receivers, not only did you just punch yourself in the face, you just shot yourself in the foot.
That's fine. I don't care.
Well,
I'm going to be here all day.
No.
I don't care.
We'll be in pain, man.
But
What you just did.
You're essentially saying you're foregoing an elite defensive end because you want the stud linebacker.
I want the stud linebacker. Yes, I do.
Is it because of our lack of linebackers? Is that
Lack of linebackers.
You're drafting
and at some point, Pete, you have to put some stock in that linebacker position, brother. You have to.
And I just want to say this. Isaiah Simmons, get prepared to your boy who you were going crazy over. He's going to be in New York. So we're going to have to see that fucker for two games.
I know. And he's the best linebacker in the draft. Yep, I know. I'm getting ready for it.
First,
but let's go get the defensive lineman. Now. Yeah.
More impactful.
Yeah.
The ends in this league.
Yep. While Carson throws to Greg Ward as his number one.
Let me ask you a question.
While Greg Ward is your number one.
You just complained. I'm here to do it again.
I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. Okay. Corey Littleton, one of the better middle linebackers in football, right?
Yep.
One of the better.
Went to the Raiders on a cheap deal. Yep.
Thank you. Yep. If at the end of that caliber comes on the market, you think he's getting that kind of deal?
Yo, why hasn't Clowney? Why hasn't Clowney signed yet? Why hasn't Clowney signed yet?
He's not durable.
He's the number one overall pick, though, Tommy. He's the number one overall pick, though, Tommy.
Thanks. Stop talking about Clowney. I don't give a rat's ass about
No, because I'm comparing it.
I'm asking you. Clowney ain't even good enough. He's going to get paid more than Littleton.
But he was the number one overall pick, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? Okay.
Top 5 DN hits the mark.
Didn't even sniff over 10 sacks while he was in Houston with J.J. Watt on the other side.
I don't even care about Clowney. Any top 5 DN comes on the board, they're getting paid big time money.
If they're good.
If any top 5 DN or top 10 DN
if they're good
are available in free agency, they're getting
if they're good, they get that money.
They're getting brink trucks backed up. Because why, Ralph? What do teams value more around the league? What? DNs or linebackers?
It goes from team to team of what you want.
Does it?
It does. It does.
Especially
money tells you it doesn't.
Especially in free agency.
Sometimes teams overpay for defensive linemen.
That's not the point, Ralph. You have to go look at how money contracts compared to DNs, top 10 in the league, and top 10 linebackers in the league, and not pass rushing linebackers, not 3-4 outside linebackers, middle guys. Go show me the difference in money, because it ain't close. It's not close. Your top 10 DNs. Money.
I bet you if Luke Kuechly hit the market while Clowney, I bet you Kuechly gets more money.
Luke, why you bring up Luke Kuechly? He's retired. What do you bring up Luke Kuechly
if he was still playing the league, he gets more money.
Why are we going to these outlandish examples?
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Questions come into play. No, he doesn't. He definitely does not get more money. The injury.
Yes, he does.
The injury history comes into play.
He gets more money.
Oh, you're clueless.
Then who?
That's Clowney? Clowney wants $20 million. He ain't even sniffing $20 million. They won't even go there.
Bro, you're missing.
Clowney won't sign until Yannick gets traded. They're waiting for each other.
Kuechly is better than Clowney and won't sniff his contract. That's the point.
I can't believe we just went to Luke Kuechly. I can't believe Luke Kuechly got brought up. I can't believe this. And Ralphie, you did it again a few minutes ago. You did it again.
I don't care, dude. I'm here, baby. I'm here all day. I got time. I got nothing but time.
Okay. Since you have all this time, sit back and listen for a second. I'll help you. Help me help you. To me, you can't go from the first hour ranting and raving and complaining about receiver, then saying, oh, I'm switching to linebacker, somebody who's never played a lick in the NFL yet, that hasn't stepped foot on the field yet. Then 5 minutes later, say, oh, but we're going to have Greg Ward as our number one. Which one is it? You just played 3 sides in 5 minutes.
You like that? That's what the greats do.
No, it's embarrassing. Go back to the basement. You're funnier there. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Struggling upstairs.
I'm here all day. I ain't struggling.
That doesn't mean shit.
I ain't struggling. I'm having a good time.
So you, Bill, the rest of everybody, making my point for me. You're making my point. And you're not listening about the money difference on what teams value more. You're not listening to any of that, right? If fans did the draft every year, we win 5 games a year, and that's not a shot. But if we did a consensus pick out of fans, we'd win 5 games a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, the big splash in needs isn't always what's going to win it for you. You know, I'd bring Nigel back on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. He's not going to get paid. So bring him back on a 1-year deal. Because he's shown he can be impactful when you have a good front in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
You be okay with that, Ralph?
Bringing Nigel back?
Yeah.
I said that from the jump. I wouldn't be shocked if they did bring him back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel a little better?
No, because I already know what Nigel is.
Okay.
He's starting to the slope is starting to go down. You know,
We didn't say 5 years.
the stock is starting to go down. You know.
Yeah. No, I know his stock market, but we said 1-year deal.
No, him as a player, his stock, the regression is starting to go.
I agree with you, Jake. You bring Nigel back for a year?
So why bring Nigel back when you can get somebody at 21 and Patrick Queen?
Cool.
Thank you. I win.
You didn't win
Go
nothing.
on. Next conversation.
You didn't win nothing. I would take back.
Made him speechless right there.
Best guy on the board, sure. But
Made him hesitate. That's the first sign of weakness.
okay.
Wow.
Because I'm arguing in circles with you because you don't listen. That's the thing. I never said you drafted Patrick Queen at 21 was a bad pick. Never said that.
Right.
I just said you're just contradicting exactly what I was starting with. Does defensive impact players help your offense? And everybody says, well, KC would blow us off the field. Okay. That's why you play the game. I'll take my chances with that D. I'll go into that game against that D, against that offense, and think I can play with you. I can contain you. I can hit Mahomes enough. Niners were doing it for a minute. Right? Different narrative without a couple big plays in that game. That's all.
Yep.
So that's not, they want it. It's what ifs. You know what I mean? We're what ifing. But the point is, if you can get pressure, you can make Mahomes look like a guy for a while. It's all with Brady and Peyton for years. If you can beat up on them early, you can make the greatest quarterbacks just guys for 60 minutes. You know what I mean?
But you had to bring that pressure up the middle, and we've already addressed that. Like, we're not even talking about the fact where Hargrave, Jackson, and Cox maybe all lining up and having Jackson to be on the outsides of DN or whatever NASCAR package you want to put out there, because that pressure coming up the middle, hopefully when it's being fed to you, Derek Barnett, because it looks like they have a lot more stock in you than what we do as a fan base, that you'll be able to actually get some sacks. You don't have to do it on your own. But if I can have Yannick over Barnett all day, twice on Sunday.
Somebody, Marquez asked, would you guys trade a second for Brandon Cooks?
That's too high.
Too high.
What's the highest you give up for Cooks? Which
A
pick?
fourth.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking.
A fourth or a fifth.
So
It's just the injury. The injury concerns are right there. That's all. What is it?
He comes with
Would
money,
that,
too.
I guess that would be what a low risk, high reward type of deal right there.
And the Rams would have to eat some of the money for me to do
Yeah,
that.
you would have to. This is what he's getting, $12 million guaranteed. But this year, 12 or 10. So
I would try to give him a 6 first. But Jake, Patrick Queen, what is he side to side? Is he speed? Is he a blend of everything? Like, what actually is he?
He's kind of a blend of everything. He's a real sideline to sideline guy. I know he got I think it was I forget what it was. I know Coach O suspended him like halfway through the season. Then he came back in the playoffs. I forget exactly what it was. It was an off the field issue. It wasn't anything like drastic, crazy, but yeah, he's a solid pick. He's a solid player.
he's the second best linebacker behind Isaiah Simmons in the draft. Yeah.
Good in coverage?
Yeah, he's good in coverage.
Yep.
You throw Yannick.
As long as
Throw Yannick in the draft. Is he the best D end in the draft?
I still go with Chase Young. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still go with
Giving
Chase
up
Young.
the 21st for the second best D end in the draft, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
same
That's a
thing.
steal.
Steal.
You just said, Ralph.
That's a steal.
I mean, I don't know, man.
You're
I
talking
still,
about
I still go with Patrick
hold on,
Willis.
hold on. You're talking about the second last best linebacker being available at 21.
At 21, I'll
Hold
take
on.
him.
The second best DN in this draft ain't gonna be available at 21, honey. So now you're proving my point even more. I love it because now I'm living rent free up
So
there.
then, are you moving up to get them, or what's going on here?
They're valued higher. They're valued higher. They're valued higher. It's simple.
No.
Simple.
Nope.
Yes. There's no nope. There's yes. There's yes. You can be fine with Queen. I'm okay with you. I'm right there with you. But stop running from facts.
I ain't running from facts.
You've ran from facts for as long as we've been doing this show.
Hour 25.
Manti Te'o is available, but won't sign unless his girlfriend can come with him. Well, we'll find her for him. I mean, the family flying in.
AC Gavin, if he stays healthy, he might be able to.
Listen, nobody's running from any of that. I don't think anybody here today was running from that. We think our wide receivers are going to play 16 games and be healthy.
Well, we're already going to have one for about 3. So, I mean, and that's Alshon Jeffrey. He probably won't play until week 13.
Where's this week 13?
Yeah, that's fake news, right?
Yeah, it's the same injury as Jalen Mills, bro. Come on, guys.
Are you a doctor now?
Come
you a
on.
doctor?
It's the same injury as
You a
Jalen
doctor?
Mills.
Are you a doctor?
Come on, dude.
Are you a doctor?
Fucking
Are
add
you
it
a
up.
doctor? Are you a doctor?
Oh, my God. No, but I haven't stayed at a Hilton hotel yet, so I guess I'm not a doctor yet.
It's a Holiday Inn, by the way.
Same
Holiday
thing.
Inn.
Same thing. They all have the same beds.
It's not, but okay. Second thing.
It's the same injury as Alshon. What are you talking about?
Yo,
They-
Bill,
Come on, man.
because top 10 picks cost a lot of money too, buddy. Bill, sorry, just to fill you in. 9th pick of the draft costs a lot of money. I want you to go look up how much that costs. Come back to me. So you act like that's cheap money. Okay.
Ralphie, where have you heard in writing that it's going to be week 13? Where's that diagnosis?
Bro,
I must have
it's
missed
the
it.
same injury as Jalen
Where?
Mills, bro.
So are you? So
It's the
you're
same
going?
injury. Just add it up.
Okay, so
It's
we're
not
going
that
back to the
hard. It's
doctor.
not rocket science.
All right, so
dude.
well, it seems to be. So we're going back to the doctor thing, but we're going to ignore all of the actual experts that are saying that it's going to be a borderline week 1, week 2 return. So then we're just going to go.
There's no shot. There's no shot.
So you're diagnosed.
Yeah, there's no shot.
All right, Ralphie's diagnosed. I just want to get that on writing.
There's no shot.
Diagnosis from the basement.
There's
No,
shot.
he's upstairs today.
Oh, okay.
I see light. I see light.
There's no shot. He's back before week 1 or week 2. No shot.
But
Oh,
week
nobody's
13
saying that. You said week 13.
Yeah, you said week 13. That's like
Yeah, because that's
almost
it's
done.
the same. Dude, Jalen Mills had the same injury. We sat here for almost a whole year wondering what the injury was on Jalen Mills. Find out it's the same injury as Alshon, and he didn't come back until the end of the year.
So
What else you guys get?
every athlete is the same. Every athlete's injury is the
Come
same.
on, man.
So are you saying that if you and I, or me and Tom, or Ralph and Tom, or Jake and Tom, or Jake and Ralph, or Pete and Ralph, if we each had the same injury, are you saying we would all come back the same day?
It might take Alshon. It's gonna take Alshon a while because he uses his foot more to plant and go. Come on, man.
A cornerback doesn't use his foot?
Not as much as a wide receiver does.
Since when?
Since football
What?
started.
I love this.
Corner.
D-back is the hardest position to play in the league.
But for a wide receiver, you still got to plant your foot and go.
And a
How
corner
much-
doesn't?
Yeah, corner has to stop and turn around and then run.
I mean, not that much.
Brother, I don't know where I'm going as a corner. As a wideout, I know the route I'm running. What are you talking about? It's harder on my feet as a corner because I don't know which way my foot's going to go.
I'm telling you, Alshon ain't playing till week 13.
You can tell people all you want.
I am telling people. He ain't playing.
You got an agenda. That's what's going on here.
Might have an agenda, might not have an agenda.
Then you're going to have Patrick Queen at 21 and good for
Yeah,
you.
there you go.
There you go. So didn't address your wideout in the first round like you've been asking for.
Probably not going to happen. Go get one in the second round.
But we don't trust him in the second round. Do you trust? You have more faith in us?
I have to now, right? I have to now. Howie ain't making any deals, guys. He doesn't have enough picks. His 8 picks. We all know how Howie is with picks, dude. He doesn't have an extra third. He doesn't have an extra fifth now. So you're willing? I just can't see get it done.
That's my point. I'm not going to be able to go up and get Judy, so I got to figure out a way to get it in the second round. So to go get a guy like Yannick and nail my first round pick, I'll take it and I'll walk away happy. and then I got to draft well. Simple as that. I got to handle stuff in the second, third round. And you can shake your head, but you're saying the same thing I'm saying, just in a different way.
See, Tom knows this. I haven't been on the Howie faith for a while. And this other started to come to my dark side and say, look, but for everybody else that's still kind of this is it for Howie. I've already been on a year-to-year lease with Howie. But for others who've been in the Howie camp, like say for instance, Chuck's, he still may be following. Like if he doesn't get it right in this one, what else can you say?
Right.
It's 100% spot on. I'm right with you. The year-to-year deal with Howie is perfectly said because that's what it is. You know, he's got to prove it. Can't just do good in free agency and trades. Got to draft well. Have to draft well. And I think.
Well, here's the thing with Howie when it comes to drafting wide receivers, and I forgot to mention this earlier. I have no confidence just because of this one stat that I've been sitting on for a little bit. Since Howie Roseman's been the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, there's only been one wide receiver that Howie's given an extension to. You know who that is? Anybody?
Riley Cooper.
Anybody know who that is? Yep.
Horrible.
That's the last wide receiver that Howie has drafted to get an extension.
No Macklin, no Jackson, out of Riley Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're dealing with here, guys.
This
is why you give up the farm and go get Judy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm all for it. All for it.
I'm all for it too.
Yeah.
I'm
all for it.
The you and Bill, I never said I wasn't.
I've always been. I never disagreed with that.
Bill. When I started talking Yannick, it was like because I would trade the 20 for Yannick means I wouldn't go get Judy. I don't, that's what sort of drove me crazy here. At no point did I say I'm not all in for that, but I'm not going to come on every show and continue to talk about going up and getting one guy over and over and over again, drive people crazy. So what are some other options? That's what the conversations go to conversation starter. Did a great job with, but that's what it is. So, I just look at he makes my football team better, and I go to sleep with it. But if you stay at 21, you're in the same boat as you are in the second round. You better hit. You better hit. If that's Queen, if that's Jefferson, A, B, C, D, or A. If Henderson's there, right, whoever's there, better hit it. Because, like Pete said, you're starting to get on borrowed time right now if you don't start nailing picks. And I think he feels that pressure, honestly. I think his comments show he feels that pressure because how he's like, well, we got to have picks, and he sort of made excuses on why he hasn't hit, right? You sort of hear them come out like, well, we only had 5. Okay, good for you. You only had 5. You know what I mean? But you sort of hear the excuses. So I think he feels the pressure that if he doesn't retool a little youth injection here, his days could be numbered.
Question from YouTube. Are we against doubling up on wide receiver in the draft, going 1 and 2?
What, first and second round? I'm big time against it. First and third, sure, I'll buy into it.
Okay.
You don't have a third.
True. First and fourth.
Yeah, we have a third. We had 2 thirds.
That's a comp third. That really don't count.
You still picking the third round though, Pete. You still have a third round pick though.
Is it in the 90s?
I have no clue where it's at.
I think it's.
I'll look it up.
I'll pull it up here.
Look it up. Yeah, look it up, Rye.
I can't say I'm totally against that though because we have to see how the board plays out. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's to me personally, I'd rather go first round wide receiver, Jefferson Mims. Maybe you trade back. In the second round, I'm all sold on Jeremy Chin.
So we have. I'll just go through the entire thing. We have 21, 53, 103, 127, 145, 146, 168, 190.
Yeah. So because I think the third they gave it to Detroit was like it was like 85 or 88.
Yeah, it was our best third. It was our best third.
Yeah. So
which was probably
essentially. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that third is a comp. That's a comp third. I think that's the Foles comp.
Is that the one we sent to them? The Foles comp?
No,
no, that's Golden Tate. That's Golden Tate comp, ain't it? Is this third Golden Tate comp?
I think so, yeah, because I think the Foles is a 4th. I think the Foles was a 4th comp pick.
He's done a lot of that recently too, boys, where he's done a lot of a little
comp
move,
picks.
and get comps back to try to replenish.
Yeah, we actually have 3 comp picks left in this draft. We have 103, which is our only third. The 145, which is our second best 4th round pick, and the 146. So we have back to back, and they're both comp picks.
Yeah, he'll trade out of that 4th round one.
And then obviously the 168 pick is from the Patriots in the Michael Bennett trade, and the 6th, the 190, is from the Jonathan Cyprien trade.
The 3rd and the 5th that we gave up were our own picks. They weren't the comp picks.
Okay, wasn't sure, but either way, if you hold on to your first. Okay, your first and second have to be hits, and that's whatever pick you make. If it's Jefferson, if whoever, right in the second round, same thing as last year. You had 2 second rounds last year, in Miles and JJ. Well, you hit one, so now you're hoping you can hit the other one. But I mean, that's what you got to start doing. He's got to start hitting 3 or 4 players a draft that are legit starter caliber players. That's how you get better. One's just not going to do it for you. But you absolutely need to start hitting on first round talent. I don't think that's up for debate with any of us. We already know the struggles later on. But I actually feel like he's drafted later on better, and he drafts higher up.
Certain positions, offensive lineman, I'm not concerned. Whatever round you pick him in, because you got stat on there to develop. I'm not concerned at all. That's not a worry at all. But let's look at Howie. Tell me outside of 2016, how many draft picks does he have where you actually have extensions, where they see a second contract on his team? Everybody that we talked about, possibly, if you look at this roster and who's coming up on expiring deals and that you want to take a look at and you want to extend those contracts, those aren't Howie picks.
Well, here, let's well, I was going to say, if you want, Pete, we can go through the last, handful of years. We'll see exactly what he's done. So obviously we'll start 2016. Obviously since he got out of the shoe closet once Chip Kelly obviously left. So you look at Wentz, obviously we know how that panned out. Siamalo, 3rd round.
I think he got an extension.
Obviously, Wendell Smallwood.
He's gone.
Vitae.
He's gone.
Blake Countess.
He's that.
Vitae, good pick though.
Yeah. Just
so we're going on extensions though.
Okay.
We're also talking
who do we keep and who do we let go, and both of them have been gone.
We're also talking about if they're hit picks though.
Exactly. Yeah. Blake Countess, obviously no. Mills in the 7th.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Alex McAllister, no. And then Joe Walker in the 7th.
No shot.
So if you just look at that entire 2016 draft, you got Wentz, Siamalo. Would you say Siamalo in the 3rd was a good pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
He's just starting guard now. So.
Yep. Vitae, obviously, in the 5th. I mean, you won a Super Bowl with him at left tackle.
Yeah, great pick.
in the 5th.
Mills in the 7th, very good.
Great pick in the 7th.
So 2016, he did a solid job. There. And obviously, you're starting quarterback, at the forefront of that. Then you get to 2017, which I think is at the top of the list of why people were very concerned about, Roseman. It starts that kind of train. Derek Barnett in the 1st, obviously a 14th overall pick.
Do I
get an extension?
Do I think the pick is a hit? I'll say it's a hit because of his impact in 2017 for a Super Bowl. I'll say then, sure, yeah, it's a hit. He won a Super Bowl with the guy who made some big plays. He was all around the football for some reason, creating turnovers.
Now, was that not so much a hit, Tommy, but do you extend Barnett?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I mean, a lot's going to depend on this year. Just because I think he has a skill set. I don't know where he is right now, but the skill set to get after the quarterback is still there. So that's how I look at it. That's why I think he gets an extension. But a lot's going to depend on how he freaking plays this year, too.
And also on top of that, a lot depends on if we get Yannick. If you have Yannick here, I don't, obviously you might have to throw Barnett in the Yannick deal.
Gladly.
All right, I do that in 2 seconds. Yeah. Then obviously Sydney. Right now, it's obviously not a hit, but there's still time. Obviously, I know Tom, you still have confidence in him, and I do a little bit too. Rasul in the third.
No, not really.
Matt
Nope.
Collins obviously in the fourth.
Nope.
No. Pumphrey in the fourth.
Nope.
No. Shelton Gibson in the fifth. No. Nate Gary in the fifth.
Well, he's starting left linebacker, so.
We don't have a choice whether or not to say hit because he's the only guy here right now. And then obviously Elijah Qualls in the sixth. So that draft, really the only hit that you can say
was atrocious.
Is Barnett, maybe. Like, that's the only one that you can say yes. Everybody else, no. Sydney still has time to evolve into not a complete disaster type pick. Then you go to
Sydney.
Say that again.
This is it. This is it's now. It's put up or shut up this year.
True. Then obviously you go to 2018. Now only 5 picks, but still. Dallas Goedert in the second. I think we can all agree that's going to end up being a good pick.
Yeah, I think it already is.
Yep. Avante in the fourth. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Sweat in the fourth. That's a wait and see. Matt Pryor in the sixth. He's a depth guy.
Sweat plays against anybody but the Jets. Pryor in the sixth. Well, that goes to Pete's point. That he'll trust them drafting them anywhere. I mean, you talk about Pryor, you talk about Vitae, you talk about 5th, 6th round picks that have stepped in and started for your football team on the offensive line, which we all know how many GMs out there are begging for offensive linemen. And this team finds a way, for Howie's credit, to hit when they draft linemen, no matter where they draft them usually. They're impactful in some fashion. If you can get late round guys that step in and be productive, that's a huge win. Huge win.
True.
Teams can't fucking nail them in the first round.
No.
You got a left tackle in the 5th round. Most teams can't hit him in the first.
They got a Super Bowl left tackle too.
Yeah, which he got paid because he deserved it, honestly. He can play anywhere on the damn line but center.
Sure. And right. He can't play at right tackle. We know that. We've seen that too many times. Him against friggin' the guy on the Redskins.
Kerrigan.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan. Yep.
Ate him for lunch. Then we go to, and the last pick is obviously Jordan Mailata in the 7th, and that you can't.
No shot.
I think
he's never gonna. Dude's never gonna shift the field.
But it's an unknown. But I don't think he's any good.
No.
To me, it's all footwork, and it takes time. It takes time to get that down.
That was like, oh, they're coming off of a Super Bowl. Oh, let's get cute here. Oh, rugby. Oh, let's play. You know what I mean? That's all.
Picks in the 6th. You know what I mean? Like I'm totally okay with the reaches in the 6th round, 7th round, flyers on guys. Hope they pan out. I'm all for that because you need them. You need a couple of them every once in a while to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need your guys like Jalen Mills who had some off the field issues at LSU. Blah blah blah. Fell. And becomes a starter for you for a good amount of time now. So, I mean, you get a 7th round guy who starts for you, shit. So I think he's done well later on in draft. It's there. It's the early ons that are concerning at times. But
he just can't hit anybody in the 3rd or the 4th. That's the only, if you have somebody in the 3rd or the 4th, you're like, okay, well, you're not getting somebody here.
Boys, real quick, to answer Marquise's question, JJ might lose his job earlier to Ward. I thought, no, he didn't. He has that one. Somebody asked, realistic numbers. Here you go, PJ. Realistic J-Jaw stat predictions. I said 40 for like 605 touchdowns the other day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll keep mine simple. I said it the other day. I said 3 for like 350, 3 touchdowns for 350 yards. I'm not expecting a lot.
Yeah, I mean, me neither. I guess I'll go 400 with 3 touchdowns. I mean, I just don't see this dude taking the next step. I really don't, man. I don't.
When I look at him in this offense and his role, his ceiling is what Cortland Sutton was in Denver. And I don't know what Cortland Sutton's stats were last year, but I can see him, Rick Scaganello, looking at him in that light. And that's if JJ can hit it. But just off the top of my head, without even looking at that, I'm going to say 45 catches, 650 yards, 3 touchdowns.
We're right around the same area, Pete. Pete, I look at this with him and Sydney, right? I look at like late season pulses, right? Like they're starting to become a pulse with JJ later. where there was some big catches, which I can't overlook. There's also, are you even on the field today? So there's both sides of it. There's totally both sides. But did make some good and big catches down the stretch. And is it DK Metcalf catches? No,
Right.
So we're going to compare it to there and assume it's a miss. But it doesn't mean he can't get better.
Yeah, and the one thing that gives me hope is that, and we've talked about it numerous times, is that it seemed that his issue last year wasn't necessarily talent. It was just he was just friggin' lost. He didn't
even know the playbook, bro. He didn't even know where to line up on the field. He had playbook issues. And even go back to his comments during, right before the bye week, where he even said, this bye week's going to help me out, even dive deeper into the playbook. Right there should have told you this dude is completely lost. So a friend or something.
It's not all his fault, though.
Exactly.
Because this offense is complicated. This is a Stanford guy getting lost in it, right? Like, remember that. I mean, Doug Peterson talked about Carson Wentz not mastering this offense to year 5. To year 5, had a master feel of this entire offense. Year 5. Wide receivers, when you're young, there's so many option routes and different things just when you get to the line of scrimmage. So if you got to think too much, your legs slow down. when you got to think and not just go. So when people are talking about doesn't get separation when you watch film, no shit. Because he's got to think too much.
He didn't know what was up as far as compared to down. So
now, listen, I'm going out on a limb trying to defend the Howie wide receiver pick. I understand this. This is hard to do. Very hard to do, boys. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
But like with Sydney, show the polls down the stretch if there's something going on. Okay, maybe you can play in this league. JJ, little polls, some big catches ish.
Well, that's my hope.
Well, and it doesn't do good for a young player in Sidney Jones who is constantly taking out the lineup, putting in the lineup, taking out a lineup, put it back in the lineup. You're gonna play here, play there. To a guy that's a young guy like that, I mean, you can only imagine what's running through his head. You know what I mean? Am I gonna play this week? Am I practicing for nothing? You know what I mean? It's just it's rough sometimes, man.
I know we don't like having because of the injury things with Alshon and the injury things with D-Jax, but the one thing I will say about it, when you have a guy like JJ and you have a guy like Greg Ward, I think them guys are so important to them too. Mm-hmm. Just like I think on the defensive side of the football, with your young guys, with Sydney and your other young guys, BG and them other guys, so important. These leaders that I truly believe in on this football team. There's legit leaders. I'm not saying Alshon's one of them, but there's legit leaders on this football team that I trust around my kids more than I do some of this coaching staff around them. Make sense? To your point about Jim Schwartz, I trust more of these veterans to keep these guys growing than I do some of these assistants over the years. Outside of O-line, like Pete talked about, it's the only thing that develops on a rapid pace, right? Other things are hey, baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step.
Hey, Pete, you were wondering Courtland Sutton's stats from last year?
Yeah.
It was 72 receptions for 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns.
And where was Sutton? Where was he drafted in? I don't think he was a first, right?
No, I want to say he was a second. I want to say he was a second or a third.
No, he was a first round guy because
Dallas round 240.
He was a round 2.
It went round 2, 2018 round 2, 40th pick overall.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Impact A1 guy. Remember, bad football team too.
Very bad football team.
So, so his rookie year, he went 42, 704 for 4 touchdowns. And like I said, last year, he went 72, 1,100 for 6.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. It's that going like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, Pete, from where JJ started, all you could do is go. You
would hope so, Rye. You would hope so.
Well, it's either that or you're in the XFL next year. It's one of the two.
But I hope Sidney pans out. I really do, man. I love Sidney Jones. It's just that the injury is plaguing him, man. It really is. Also to the fact with Sidney is that he was before the Achilles. Boys, he's going top 10, yo. He's going top 10 easily before the Achilles. And you got a top 10 talent fell right to your lap in the second round. What was it, 2017? I mean, He's 3 years now, 4 years into the league now. He's got to take that next step, and I absolutely agree, Pete. One more year, bro. This is it. You got to show out now.
Now, the only thing with Sydney is, I would say it's a top 10 talent when it's in its just its perfect state. It's perfect bubble of health. Never had any injuries. Never had a nick, a scratch, a dent on it. Then once you get the Achilles, this is now his fourth season? 17, 18, 19, 20. Going into his fourth season now. Like you said, just put up a shut up time. We already heard who he's working out with in Texas. But one thing I'll say about the difference with Sydney versus JJ, not only just the years and the different sides of the ball. If I'm not mistaken, JJ missed the last 3 or 4 games of the season because he got hurt, right?
Yeah,
correct.
So it wasn't so. If he was healthy, he probably would have been on the field.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that. It wouldn't have been that Deontay Burnett or whatever the hell his name was. It wouldn't have been him.
Right. And I remember. I think that he went out right after the. I'll never forget. It was the first play from scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball against Dallas. Him over the middle for like 25 yards or something like that.
Yep. I went crazy.
He was done.
Yep. So
we'll say that just to give you the measurables, Cortland Sutton 6'3", 216, JJ 6'2", 210, 212-ish. 40 times not the same. Obviously, Cortland Sutton's a little faster, but just that body type. If people want to see what they may get out of JJ this year, go watch some Cortland Sutton highlights, how they used him in Denver, what positions, what route tree they gave him, and hopefully they can implement some of that without getting JJ lost in the sauce in the playbook this year.
Yeah, I agree, Pete. And I think when we drafted him, I think what everybody was high on was red zone ability. Ton of touchdowns at Stanford. A guy who just found himself in the end zone a lot. They're guys I want. Just like I want scorers in basketball. I want guys who barrel up in baseball. I want them guys. I'm just not ready. Again, I'm just not ready after year one to say he'll never be able to play. I just can't do that. It's unfair of me to do that. We've done it with other athletes here, and the list goes on guys who weren't necessarily impactful year one, but developed into good football players or whatever other sport. So it's unfair of us. But what we can tell our GM's doing, boys, is he's saying that these 4 guys are going to be part of this core, if you like it or not. I mean, it's sort of what he said throughout free agency without even saying it. They're not going to overpay for Robbie goddamn Anderson when he can just keep Greg Ward. You know what I mean? Not that Greg Ward's Robbie Anderson speed-wise or anything like that. But you understand what I'm saying? It's not a big enough upgrade. So I think that's where he sort of just stayed pat and said, you know what? I'm going to let Bashard Perrimans of the world and Robbie Anderson of the world go. And I'm just going to keep Alshon. It's going to cost me more money cutting him, signing one of these guys, than it would be just, I'm gonna stand pat. I'll dress another one in the draft. Done and done. You know what I mean? And I think that's where he's at. He's not gonna. I don't think he drafts 2. I just don't think he does. I think you're guaranteed one in the first 2 rounds. Guaranteed one first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You think there's a shot that they go receiver O-line?
Yep. Yeah. This team,
I'm almost leaning towards that. A center. And I don't know where he's projected. I'm just starting my my research on the guy. The kid from Temple. I know he's been brought
Hennessy.
up. It's
Hennessy.
Yep. So if like Pete, I don't know. You probably have done more research on him than I have because like I said I'm just diving into him. I was just looking at him this morning. If he's a possibility to get in the second. I'd be fine with that because, again, like we talked about, we've been worried about it for the last handful of years. We don't know how long Jason Kelsey is going to be hanging around here.
There's a better one, Rye. He's from the area. He's a Camden High grad. All right, Michigan, Big Ten cat, Ruiz. He's the best center.
Cesar Ruiz.
Cesar Ruiz, the best center in this draft. So you're talking about O-line. Don't even be surprised at 21. If he's there, they go there, and they go wide receiver in the second round.
But then are you having him sit in the bench? See, I think guys.
I don't love that, Ralph. I don't love it, but I get it. You know what I mean?
If you're going to do that, he has to play because, in my opinion, first-round guys should play day one.
They should, but when you have a Hall of Famer over you, some guys don't.
Then that's a waste of a draft pick. Then
is it though?
It is though.
Is Andre Dillard now going into your year 2 as a left tackle a wasted pick? Yes or no?
He should have been. He should be starting though.
You're not answering the question. Is Andre Dillard a wasted pick going in the year goddamn 2? Yes or no?
No, it's not.
Thank you. Would Ruiz be, or the kid from Temple, whatever, would one of them two be a wasted pick year 2 when Kelsey says, I'm done? No.
Right, but now, you don't know that, though. You don't know that.
When he's done?
You don't know that. You don't know if he's going to hang it up for next year.
He's been talking about it for 3 years, right?
Yeah, he's been talking and doing it. It's totally opposite.
So are you saying you'd rather not plan and you'd rather just be like, for example, perfect example?
I'll take a center in the second round. I'm not taking one in the first round, though.
Okay, but my point is,
or the kid from Temple ain't going to be there. Well, maybe the kid from Temple, but Ruiz.
That kid, come on, man.
Well, Ralph.
What are we doing here? Picking a center in the first round.
Ralph, the perfect
guys.
The perfect example.
We're all smart here, man.
Ralph, shut up, Ralph. Listen for a second. To me,
you've taken Jason Kelsey. Hold on, you've taken Jason Kelsey for granted for years. Is what I just watched.
Yeah, I think this is his last year anyway.
Yeah,
Ralph,
you were just making fun of the Dallas freaking Cowboys last week because they lost their center, and oh my God, what are they going to do? Do you want that to be us?
Yeah, they're probably going to take Ruiz now at 17.
There you go, Ralphie.
Oh my God.
Because you got
Ruiz. Put forward versus quarterback, guys.
Ruiz. Oh, I'm gonna compare center to quarterback because it might just be.
Oh my God. You
pressure
guys,
up the middle.
You guys are something, man.
Am I? Pressure up the middle kills quarterbacks, kills play designs, crushes play
All
designs.
first rounders, in my opinion, should start day 1.
You would love that, but sometimes if that's the best guy on the board, Ruiz, I would take him.
They need to reevaluate their board at that point, though. That's
if he does that, I want Howie fired.
No.
If he takes Ruiz 21 Tommy, he should be out the door the next day.
Have him in the first round, though. Most mocks
taking a center at 21. What are we doing here, dude?
The mocks have
first
him in the second round that I'm missing. I don't read as many as probably you guys do, but I'm pretty sure mocks have him in the first round, right?
I've seen him at the top of the second.
Okay,
like going to the Giants or something like that.
Okay, so borderline-ish.
That's what I'm saying, Bill.
Fringe.
Center in first round. Are you kidding me?
I'm not. We're just having a conversation, Ralphie. I'm not saying that's the way.
Yeah, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Dude, you couldn't see him
first round.
You couldn't picture him doing it. Forget Ruiz. Just another the best center on the board. Whoever. Forget it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You couldn't see him doing it.
Yeah, he probably would do it because it's Howie Roseman.
Yeah. At pick 103, I can see Hennessy. I think I have him as a third overall, but that's taking a reach because I have 2 going in the second round. Ruiz and I can't even say his last name, Taylor Benazis or something like that, also as a center. So after that, then I have Hennessy as a third overall center. But it's definitely something they need to address because, like I said, I think this is Kelsey's last year.
Bill, nobody's saying we want a freaking O-line in the first round. We're saying we could see it, Bill, especially if the receivers fall or if the receivers don't fall.
It's called having a show that we've done here for, hold on. Give me one second.
Hour 58.
Thanks, Ryan.
No problem. I got it right here. It's on the thing. It's
an hour 58, Bill. Oh, it's right in front of my damn face.
It's okay.
Hour 57. Sorry, Bill. On my time. We could be wrong times here. But hour 57. We're just having conversations, Bill, because there's a lot of different ways it can go. So Ryan brought out offensive line in the second round. And
I'm cool with that. But not with the first round pick, dude. I'm not doing that.
I understand that, but that's how he rolls sometimes. That's all.
And he should be fired if he does it this year. He should be fired if he does it this year.
Ralph
says, what happens if Kelsey already told Howie that he's retiring after this year? Give him a little heads up.
Ralphie, I'll give you this scenario, okay? And fam at home too.
I still don't do it. Ralphie. I still don't do it.
Ralphie, sit back, take a sip of the Gatorade if there's any left, and just listen, okay? Just see if because I think this is realistic, especially when going into the draft, you have to consider all options. If, for example, the guys at receiver are gone, because like we've talked about over the last 2 weeks, I believe, and I think you have agreed with this a lot, and I think a lot of the fam has agreed that there's a better likelihood that the receivers are taken earlier than we expect, as opposed to some receivers falling. If the receivers are going to be shifted, there's going to be more taken early than late. So if those receivers, obviously the top 3, maybe a Jefferson, maybe a Mims, if those guys are gone and we are unable to trade up, forget about to 10 or 9 or 8, period. Say we can't even trade up to freaking 16 to get Ruggs or something, for example, or even Jefferson. And on top of that, your boy Queen is gone. Could you not see him either staying there at 21 or trading back, which has been rumored more and more and more.
Then if that were to happen, everything falls in place. He's definitely trading back.
And
Definitely
could you see them trading back and taking an O-line? That is my point. I don't want it. I obviously want them to trade up to get their guy. But if they traded back, would you be shocked if they traded back and got O-line?
See, that's tough because you also have the other linebacker that's going to be on the board as well in Kenneth Murphy.
I understand. Listen, there's going to be
Oklahoma
linebackers on the board. I understand.
That's projected to go to the first round. It's tough. I just can't see Howie coming April 23rd, him taking a center at number 21. I just can't see it, man.
And I don't think any of us are saying, oh my God, we're putting a lock on it. Yeah. But again, it's all depending on how this draft falls. That's all we're saying. We're considering every option. Especially with all the projected turnover. You hear 1 week, oh, you're gonna get Jefferson at 21. Now the vibe is you got to trade up to get Jefferson. And that was somebody that you thought would fall to you. Some people would even have him as a first round grade. But now they're talking, oh, he might be taken 17th, 16th. We're still a month away, Ralphie. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, 22 more days.
And say, for example, Judy or Lamb or whoever, if there's multiple guys taken in the top 10, all hell's going to break loose. Forget about quarterbacks. If a team trades up for one of these top guys early, listen, I'm all here. What is this?
That guy, Bill, you're not the GM of this football team. That's all I'm going to say.
Ryan,
if you ain't taking the best player on the board, you're doing your entire team.
Bill, you just can't listen then. If that is what you got out of this, Bill, I knew you really didn't listen that much, but you're listening to another stream if that's your outlook. Are you kidding me, Bill?
Well, on that note, anything last for you guys?
No, sir.
No.
A lot of fun though.
Bill, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, Bill, I'm sure we'll talk tomorrow too.
Is Ralphie B from the basement tomorrow? I mean, you're so much better.
No, everything's up now. Everything's up.
Oh boy.
Quarantine.
Nah, I'm after this. I'm getting ready to have a nice chicken parm dinner.
It is like 5
chicken
o'clock.
parm.
Yes, it is.
Listen, send some over. Right, aluminum foil. I'll spray when it gets here.
Spray the foil.
But man, that was fun. It was. I think it's the first time me and Ralphie been on the show together.
Yep.
Is it?
So.
Well, now I produced you on PSG.
Yeah, I mean, but actually on camera.
Oh yeah.
The whole show. Like I never knew how much you did the clapping thing. Starting to think there's some African Americana in there somewhere.
You probably got a quarter in him.
Just a little bit. But
quarter talk. Jake said his power went out. Just to give you guys.
Yeah, power talk. No power talk.
Did Chuck say he wanted in earlier?
He did. I sent him a link, but no response.
Saw it now though.
Bill. I'm sorry. I'm not done with Bill. I'm not done. We're not going to. When did I say I want O-line at 20?
Right. Go right. He wants to talk about online fucking classes. Tell him to spell courses right, please. And then you can talk about courses. Okay? When you spell courses right, you can talk about us and educate us when you spell something right. When you're spelling shit wrong, we ain't here for your education on online classes. He didn't say nothing wrong. He just said they take it. I'll take it for you. He just said he'd take it. Offensive lineman in the second round. Anybody see that happen? And we said, yeah, sure. We could see him doing it. We could even see him taking one in the first. That's it. That was the end of it. And we said, well, what would be a need first round offensive line-wise? Well, center, because your guy might retire. That's all we said.
It's a perfect summary, Tom. I appreciate it.
All right. I just had to.
It's all good.
Take that one because he's driving me crazy. Don goes, my bad, our bad, brother. We ain't ignoring you. Hold on. Let's get to him real quick. We don't ignore anybody. No receiver will go top 10 unless maybe the Raiders leap the Jets. I don't know, dude. I think Judy goes top 10. I don't know. Could be wrong.
No, I mean, there's no shot. There's no shot he gets past the Jets, though.
No
shot.
Who's this?
Judy.
It's gonna be interesting.
See you, Bill. Love you, brother.
Later, Bill.
Always enjoy arguing with you.
I'm disappointed in you, Bill.
Keep chiming in, though. You'd be disappointed, but that's just how families work. All right, boys. It's been real. Stay
Yep.
safe.
Real, man.
Our
Stay
family
safe.
Tom Arnone, Ralphie Day, Mr. Keep Your Ass in the House. I don't even know if that was the official name. I might have butchered that one. Mr. Keep Your Ass Home. Close enough. Ryan Brodo.
Close enough.
We appreciate you guys chiming in, staying with us. We continue to try to bring you sports talk all day. Just a little announcement. No birds of a feather tonight. But you got the fix tomorrow at 6 a.m. to p.m. tomorrow at 9. And then obviously shows all week. So stay tuned. Keep your alerts on. Like, subscribe, follow. You know the deal. And we're here for you, fam. Stay safe. Weird times. But we say that every show. Thank you, our doc. Make him yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations, doing remote services as well. That's GOAT work. That's God's work right there. All right? Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Love arguing with y'all, especially you, Ralphie, and the family out there. This is what it's about. It's Agree Disagree Radio. We don't got to agree on shit. That's the fun part of sports, even when sports aren't even happening. I don't know how any four of us talk draft until the draft gets here. I'll be amazed. Because we just fucking had 3 other things on the docket. Didn't even get there.
Mock draft next week.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Later, boys.
Later.
All right, peace.